The Western Conference champion Portland Winterhawks are on a mission to get to the top of the WHL mountain. Most of the firepower that defined the team a season ago is back, but so far the Winterhawks are off to a modest start. On the other side of the ledger tonight, the Edmonton Oil Kings, a team ripe for their first season on the right side of 500. After 5 consecutive years with high bantam draft picks, the Oil Kings are poised to make a push for the Central Division crown. It's a battle between a team that has tasted success and another on the cusp of it. Winterhawks and Oil Kings, next on Shaw. From Rexall Place, and there's Ty Ratty, the second overall pick in the 2008 WHL Bantam Draft behind Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and he's been sensational this year. 3-game point streak for Ratty, 3 goals and 6 points over that stretch, and he faces Martin Gernat and the Edmonton Oil Kings. Gernat not only leads the Oil Kings in scoring, but also all WHL defensemen and rookies. 15 points on the year for the Slovak defenseman. He leads the charge tonight for the Oil Kings against Portland. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the WHL on Shaw. I'm Andy Neal. Should be a good one tonight. The Oil Kings have won 4 of their last 5, and the Winterhawks have won their last 2 games despite not having 2 of their key cogs up front from last season. Ryan Johansson and Nino Niederreiter still up with their NHL clubs, and Sven Barchi, the first-round pick of the Calgary Flames, is a scratch tonight, but still loaded up front offensively with guys like Ty Ratty and Brad Ross. Ross has 8 points in his last 3 games as well, so it's a formidable foe up front for the Edmonton Oil Kings D tonight, which includes Griffin Reinhart, who spoke with our Jordan Greenlee earlier.
Griffin, an exciting time for any 17-year-old hockey player. This is your draft year.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big year for me. I'm looking forward to it. Just heard a lot of great things from people in the room of how exciting it is and all the different activities that you've got to do to prepare for it, and it's going to be a good year.
Talk about some of the challenges tonight on the defensive end against this Portland Winterhawks team. What do you guys got to do to contain some of their offensive firepower?
I haven't played against them yet, but just hearing things and seeing some video that we've done, they've got great talent up front and can be hard to control, but then again, so is every team in this league, so we just got to play to our potential and play our best and see what that does for us.
Griffin, thanks so much for doing this. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Andrew?
All right, thanks, Jordan. It's the 3rd game of 4 straight at home for the Oil Kings, and it kicks off a 9-game road trip for the Portland Winterhawks. Peter Labardius and Kevin Sawyer standing by with the call in tonight's game. Let's send it up to them. Gentlemen.
Andy, thanks so much. Partner, do you remember the odd 9-game road swing in your time in Spokane?
Absolutely. Some of the best memories you have as a player in the Western League are on the road, but it's a great opportunity for a team to gel early in the season.
And I know we have an excellent-looking matchup tonight, certainly on paper. We know the game's not played there, but there are some tremendously talented individuals in this game, as the contest will show. In Edmonton, Derek Laxdal has this Oil King team off to a very nice beginning, and really the strength is on the back. They're big and they're skilled.
Well, absolutely. They got all kinds of size here on the back end. Got 6 foot or above if you're a defenseman for the Oil Kings. But what I like about this core is they can skate. Most of them are very physical, and they can all play on both sides of the puck. That's not a bad start for a defensive core.
And we don't even see the ringleader, who's one of our Husky players of the game to watch. He is Slovakian, Martin Gernat, and you can't be off to a much better start in your rookie season than he has been off to.
Well, the 6'5" Slovakian defenseman is off to a great start. He's hit the ground running here in his WHL rookie campaign. 5 goals, 15 points. Not too bad of a start at all.
Not too bad at all. The Portland Winterhawks, yes, as Andy talked about off the top of the show, they have some big holes to fill in the likes of Johansson and Niederreiter, but they still have some nice pieces offensively. And Mike Johnston's team will be a little younger, maybe not as deep, but they're still going to score some goals.
Absolutely. It amazes me as a lot of people do focus on the holes that need to be filled by the Winterhawks up front, but they still have a heck of a lot of talent in my mind with Sven Barchi, Ty Ratty, Brad Ross. They've got a nucleus coming back and some good young players as well that will fill those holes nicely.
And an interesting thing to watch about this Portland team is you see Brendan Leipzig. He has a new role. Brad Ross off to a great start. Their first and second line centers tonight are Nicholas Patan and Chase DeLeo. They're 16 years of age. We think we've got a gem. Stay with us. The Western Hockey League on Shaw returns after this.
Joanne, if you'd like to do the puck drop in an
Welcome back to Rexall Place here in Edmonton for the one and only meeting of the year between the host side, the Edmonton Oil Kings, and the defending league finalists, the Portland Winterhawks. And both teams coming off wins. The Winterhawks in a wild one over Saskatoon at home on Tuesday in a shootout 7-6. On Wednesday night, the Oil Kings were 2-1 winners over the Moose Jaw Warriors. The Winterhawks beginning a 9-game road swing here this evening. And here are our national anthems.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread blood, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Tonight's starting goaltenders for the Portland Winterhawks. Their number one man is a 7th round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, Matt Carruth. The one thing, Kevin, he'd be a little concerned about is that number at the end, the save percentage.
Absolutely. He's not off to the start that he wants to be, and yet in saying that, I don't think the team is either. Still respectful, but you know that he's got more in the tank, and he definitely wants to get better.
The Oil Kings go with their starter, the product of Surrey, British Columbia. He's Laurent Brossoit. Brossoit tied for the league lead in wins, and he is a 6th round pick of the Calgary Flames. And this is a young man with great size and appears to have all the tools to turn in to a National Hockey League netminder. As you take a look at our officials, Fraser Lortz and Trevor Hansen will make the big calls, not to take anything away from the linesman in Carlson and Scott Fulmer. When these two teams met last year in Portland, the Winterhawks won the game by a count of 5-2. Brad Ross, who you had a look at, coming off a 4-point effort in a win over Saskatoon on Tuesday. And the first period is underway as Brossoit steers it to the corner. Rhett Rachinski off to a nice beginning for the Oil Kings with 8 points. Jordan Pettle's long shot, and Carruth does not allow a rebound. Is a little pushing and shoving after the game's first stoppage.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, Peter, you thought we had a gem, and I agree. I think this is a great matchup between two evenly matched teams. Both are battling for first place in their respective divisions. A lot of similarities. What I think probably the biggest similarity is they're both have great defensive cores. Both teams can score, but I like both their defense.
We talked off the top about Portland's remaining forwards and how talented they are. To me, the strength of this club is the top 6 on defense. That's an excellent group. One of the best in the league, if not one of the best, in my opinion, in the entire Canadian Hockey League. Derek Pouliot, the young 17-year-old Rutkowski, a wrister, and no trouble for Brossois less than a minute into this opening frame.
Well, both teams not turning down opportunities early in the game to get pucks to the net. Look for Portland to do that especially a lot. Starting a long road trip, 9 games on the road. When you start with a win, things just seem so much easier. They're going to look to keep things simple, put pucks to the net, and look to win one out ugly on the road.
Edmonton's defensive pairing, that's a lot of young man in Gernot, who's nearly 6'5", and Reinhardt, who's nearly 6'5" himself.
I'd say there's only about 5 or 6 feet between their arm span and their sticks to get around them.
And both excellent prospects going forward. Gernot's a 5th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. This is Michael St. Croix. He dishes off, held in at the line by Gernot, who is just able to keep it alive as Pouliot turns it over. Pelch in the slot, his shot tests Caruth, and he looked pretty sharp again on that effort from the Latvian Christian Pelch.
Well, good job by Pelch right there, taking advantage of the turnover in the offensive zone. He uses Rutkowski as a screen and lets a quick release shot go to test Caruth early.
Nicholas Patan, one of those 16-year-old centers as far as birthdays are concerned. He wears number 33. He's from Delta, British Columbia for the Winterhawks and has 10 points already on the ice with Taylor Lear and Ty Ratty. Here comes another young budding star in Curtis Lazar. Lazar into the corner for Stefan Legault, to the line and Ryan Deck. Deck a shot, good block by Lear, the product of Saskatoon. And Mike Johnston has high hopes for him.
Speaks very highly of Lear, even though his stats don't necessarily tell the story about his start to the season. They regard him as one of their best players night in and night out.
Lear, number 20 of the Winterhawks, was second in league scoring in a very good Saskatchewan Midget Hockey League last season. Hansen, greeted by Lazar, who was the 2nd overall pick in the Bantam draft in 2010, and Lazar, number 27, makes his way to the bench for a change as Derek Laxdal does just that with the rest of his troops. Deck missing youngster Cole Benson, and that goes for icing 2.5 minutes in to this opening period.
Favorite Oil Kings players behind section 119 for our autograph session. That'll take place during the first intermission.
Derek Laxdal was a terrific player in this league in his day in Brandon. A matter of fact, he helped the Portland Winterhawks in 1983 win the Memorial Cup.
Well, it was great talking to him before the game. You can tell that he's been a part of this league. He's got a great feel for his players, and when you listen to him talk, you just know that he knows what it takes to calm these and get the most out of his players. Nice to have that experience in the Western League.
In his 2nd full season here in Edmonton with the Oil Kings, this is Leipzig. Good lead pass to Ross. Ross's shot, great stop by Brossois as he robs one of the league leading scorers in Brad Ross.
Well, it looked like Brad Ross came out of nowhere in the neutral zone. It was a quick turnover and great transition by the Winterhawks, and Ross got in behind Keegan Lowe, got a stride on him, found himself with a short-term breakaway here, but Brossois comes out with a big save, almost scored on that 2nd opportunity.
Ross red hot, 8 points in his last 3 games, and Brossois better to the task than Ross in that particular case, and keeps this game still in search of its first goal as Pouliot directs that on target. Gernot for his defense partner Griffin Reinhardt. For Christians Pelch. On a line with TJ Foster and Michael St. Croix, the Rangers 4th rounder, and big things expected of that Winnipeg product. Number 18 for the Oil Kings. As Pelch does a nice job before he's stripped by Pouliot for Ty Ratty. And now Taylor Lear. Lear greeted at the line by Gernot. Nice step up that time by the big Slovakian blue line. A little map work. 9 days, 9 games, 17 days, 2,600 miles. And those aren't airplane flights, ladies and gentlemen, I might add.
That's a lot of card games on the bus and a lot of movies. But as I said in the pregame show, I think it's a great time of the year to have to go on the road for 9 games. You want your team to gel and you want them to get to know each other. I think it's just a great opportunity, provided that they have some success to start the season off on the road.
Joey Baker in deep on the forecheck, pestered by Ryan Deck and Ashton Sotner. Lazar takes a bump in the corner and a heavy one from Joey Baker in his first year with the Portland Winterhawks to Taylor Peters. Peters, his shot blocked up by Lazar, and Lowe content to chip it out to neutral ice.
Well, this checking line for the Portland Winterhawks has a lot of size. They traded here not too long ago for Charles Wells, the 20-year-old. So he adds a lot of experience, but that line, they've got a lot of strength, and they keep the game real simple, that checking line. Look for them to get a lot of pucks to the net.
Josh Hansen, good pass up the middle. Leipzig, and an unbelievable hip check thrown right there by a fellow Winnipegger and Ryan Deck that upends Leipzig. But Leipzig's about as tough a customer as you'll find. And he races to the net to create another potential scoring opportunity.
What a great opportunity to get physical early in this game by Deck. He steps up and just sends Leipzig, the 5'8" Leipzig, flying head over heels. But I'll tell you one thing, that's not going to be enough to stop this guy. He's a tenacious hound dog in Leipzig. There's no quitting him, and he can take that hit and keep going.
Deck played in the Telus Cup in 2009 with his Winnipeg team. And there's a hit that might show up in the Western Hockey League Plays of the Week next Friday.
There's a great chance of that. That was a highlight reel hit for sure.
Brossoit dangerously in front of his own net, and the captain, Mark Pesic, takes over. The Buffalo Sabres first rounder. David Stevens off the stick of Seth Swenson, and it belongs to Hansen. Hansen, a good-looking 17-year-old defender as well on the Portland defense. One of their American-born players is number 4.
And he had a decent start to his career in the Western League last year, but this is a guy that is right now establishing his identity. He passes like a pro. He really has that first pass out of the zone, snaps it on the stick. That's one of his strengths, is that his puck management. But this is a guy that has a huge upside. The Portland Winterhawks really like him.
Trot, his pass off the skate of Clark Wilson, who's on the ice with Jordan Peddle and Rhett Ryczinski for the Oil Kings. Reinhardt moves in from the left point. Reinhardt, a good-looking wrist shot, went off Ryczinski just wide of the net. Ryczinski on the cycle. Pouliot slides it up the boards, and now Pouliot with a good exit for Swenson, who will just slide it out to center ice. Wilson on right wing. Wilson drops it for Ryczinski. Ryczinski, you can tell he's playing with a lot of confidence early, the 20-year-old forward. Wilson finds Gernat a shot, and in good position defensively was Pouliot. Here comes Ratty in transition with Nicholas Patan, and Gernat with another good defensive play just inside his own blue line, as Ratty had plenty of speed as he hit the attacking zone.
Well, that just goes to show you the reach and the size that Gernat has. Ratty is a very crafty player on the entry with speed and skill. Gernat made it look easy breaking up that play.
Pretty big wingspan when you're that size, too. Pelch for the trailing Foster. As Deck, who just threw that enormous hip check moments ago, fires it right in on Caruth. No score, 3-3. The shots on goal nearly 7 minutes in. As we'll send it downstairs to our Jordan Greenlee.
Thanks, Peter. For those looking for Sven Berchi in the lineup tonight, the reigning WHL Player of the Week and Calgary Flames draft pick is out and has been sent back to Portland with what Coach Mike Johnston described as a hip injury. He is expected to join the team later on in this trip, though. He's back to see some doctors, and they expect him back in 3 to 4 games. Guys?
Berchi had a terrific NHL training camp with the Calgary Flames. He was the 13th overall pick in the National Hockey League draft.
Led all rookies last season with 85 points and was among the league leaders in points, rookies aside. This guy makes a huge difference. He's definitely going to be a pro.
I think he could be in the running for the league MVP. He's that good. Keegan Lowe. Pesic, nice touch pass to Dylan Rock, and Joe Morrow, a Pittsburgh first-rounder, intercepts and sends Nicholas Patan away. Patan, a wrist shot goes wide. And here's Pesic for Rock. Nifty drop pass Lazar, and that's out of the reach of Legault.
That's one thing I think that the Kings are going to want to focus on here. They're doing a great job executing on their passes out of their zone, but they're not executing in the neutral zone right now, which isn't leading into offense. That first pass out of the zone is great. The second one in the neutral zone has to get better.
Leipzig driving the net again. Brendan Leipzig, a bit of a rough summer for the Winnipegger, as he was concussed at Canada's national under-18 camp, but he's already made an impact in this game. being hit, going to the net, and he was responsible for the game's best scoring opportunity when he sent Brad Ross in home free on a breakaway.
Talking to Travis Green a couple days ago, who's a buddy of mine, I asked him about Leipzig, and I love the way he described it. He said he's a freak of nature because he's not a big guy, but he plays the game tougher and bigger than almost anybody on his team.
Agreed. Reinhardt is St. Croix back out for the Oil Kings with Foster and Pelch again. Against Ross, Chase DeLeo, and DeLeo, number 9, won't even turn 16 for 4 more days. He's just 15 years old. He's from La Mirada, California. And Mike Johnston couldn't have said enough good things about the intelligence of that young player when we caught up with him before this hockey game. And Johnston make wholesale changes here as Deck skates to center. Ridden off the puck neatly by Peters, who sends Joey Baker into the zone. Baker cuts laterally with Charles Wells. Wells off the outside of the net towards Peters. Foster takes a big hit from Baker, but makes the breakout pass.
Good job taking a hit to make a play there in the D zone.
Weatherspoon, another Calgary pick. He was their second-round pick this summer. Baker in deep again. He's had a good start to this game as number 16 of the Winterhawks, creating some havoc again in the opposition zone.
Well, Baker's from Trail, British Columbia, played for the Trail Smoke Eaters last year. The 18-year-old, definitely his biggest strength is his skating. His coaches say that he's got a pro-like stride already. He's just got to get a bit more of a mind for the game, but he is making contributions early here.
Here's Patan again with Ratty. That quick snaps at the rebound, and it goes off the outside of the post as Ratty nearly finds the mark to open the scoring, and that's no surprise coming off a 79-point season a year ago. And already with 17 more this season is Ty Ratty. Taylor Lear into the slot. His backhand blocked in front, and the game's first penalty upcoming. And a hooking call will go against the Oil Kings. Number 12, Cole Benson.
Well, we talked earlier about that first breakout pass and then executing in the neutral zone. Well, another turnover in the neutral zone by the Kings, and Portland jumps on the transition early as Ty Ratty just about sweeps one by Brossois. Brossois makes the initial save, but it just about squeaked by him on that far post.
Benson, the 16-year-old from Edmonton, in the penalty box, in the Winterhawks with a game's first power play. They enter the night 4th in the league at nearly 29%. And you can see why as Ross moves in. Good play by Rexall to break up that centering pass. Pouliot to Joe Morrow. Morrow with 6 points in his first 6 games back from Pittsburgh's camp. Leipzig, a swat at it in the slot area. It's knocked away. Morrow, he tees up the one-timer, and an excellent block by Lowe.
Great job by Lowe, sacrificing the body, getting in the lane, doesn't attack the puck. He realizes the shooter is going to let the puck go, and he sacrifices the body for a great block shot.
Ratty, Leipzig in the slot area one more time. Ross to the front of the net now. Ross wants the pass from Pouliot, broken up by Reinhardt, and Brossois takes care of the puck at the side of the net. Even though this is meeting number 1, there's been plenty of chatting after a number of whistles here in the first period.
Well, a couple scoring opportunities for Brad Ross here early in this game. This is a guy who had a great season last year with 69 points. His coaching staff says this is a guy, a man possessed. He's got something to prove. He feels like he had a good season last year, but didn't play to his potential. He's working on playing physical, playing smart, and keeping that offensive part of his game intact. Putting them all together is his goal.
Weatherspoon, a long shot, well wide. Patan in the corner, the diminutive one. Already has showed why he has 10 points already. He's a dynamic looking player, number 33. Gernat past Patan this time. Rutkowski trying to hold it in. Knocked down by a high stick of Rexall, and then the glove pass, the reason for the whistle. Troy Rutkowski, another Edmonton product on this Portland team. He's a 5th-round pick of the Colorado Avalanche, and he was not even selected in the Western Hockey League Bantam draft. He was a list player, and he's really come into his own the last couple of years at 13 points in that impressive 21-game playoff run for the Winterhawks in the spring. Patan on the tail end of a power play with Wells, which has 20 seconds left in it. Pesic takes his time and plays it by Witherspoon and down the ice.
Well, great job by Lowe coming through the neutral zone defensively on the penalty kill. He has a great gap, doesn't give a whole lot of time or space for the attacking Portland Winterhawks and breaks up the play in the neutral zone. Great job by Lowe. And
not surprising to see the Oil Kings be effective on the penalty kill. They came into the night #1 in the league at 83.9%, and their captain a major reason for those numbers. And there's your best penalty killer most nights.
You can't be good in the PK without good goaltending. And one of the interesting things for me on the penalty kill for the Kings is nobody's penalized more. So they have all sorts of opportunities to practice their PK.
Big hit by Keegan Lowe, of course the son of Edmonton Oilers great and now team president Kevin Lowe. Keegan is a draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. Lazar in deep on Morrow on the forecheck. Lazar creates some havoc. This is Dylan Ruck. Ruck into the corner. St. Croix, the return run. He scores. Dylan Ruck's third of the year opens the scoring.
Well, it's a great job to me by Curtis Lazar to hound the puck initially on the forecheck. It turns into a battle on the wall. It's a give and go by Dylan Ruck. Puts it down into the corner and gets himself open into that slot area. And man, oh man, what a great pass. The puck's on the Ruck's stick and off top corner. That's a goal scorer's goal.
Ruck's third of the year is 8th point. He's been off to a bit of a slow start, but maybe heating up for a young man who was the team leader in points a season ago with 78. And he's opened the scoring here for the hometown team tonight with a beautiful wrist shot. Reinhardt, his weak backhander steered away by Caruth. Peddle in a big collision with Ross, who really threw a shoulder into the former Swift Current Bronco, Jordan Peddle.
Well, Brad Ross, stick on puck, body on body. Did he ever pace Peddle in the half wall?
The Leo for Leipzig. Reinhardt. There's why he's highly touted. How poised is that play as he sends it deep into Winterhawks territory? Pouliot for Rutkowski now. Pestered by Clark Wilson. Then Lazar takes over into the corner for Clark Wilson. To the line, Keegan Lowe lots on it, but that about 5 feet wide of the target. As Ruck is open to scoring with his third of the year here for the Oil Kings. St. Croix drawing one of the assists. Both teams making changes. Keegan Lowe for the aforementioned Dylan Ruck with Lazar. Backhand scores! St. Croix, a pretty three-way passing play and make it 2-0 Edmonton.
Well, I think this is a great coaching move by Derek Laxdal. He knows that he's got a bit of a slumping Dylan Ruck, who comes off a shift with a great goal. And the very next shift, he puts him right back out, flying high, hoping that he'll gather confidence. He does just that, assisting on the Kings' second goal. A great pass to St. Croix in the slot. He taps it home.
Curtis Lazar, the great feed to Michael St. Croix, and he has a goal and an assist to extend his point-scoring streak to 6 games, and now has 9 points during that stretch. And the Oil Kings want more. Sotner, he scores his first Western Hockey League goal for Ashton Sotner, and it's 3-0. And Mike Johnston might want to think about calling timeout.
Yeah, that's the first thing that just went through my mind. He's got to somehow find a way to slow things down for his panicking Portland Winterhawks right now. They're scrambling in their defensive zone. Now they've got Caruth not looking overly poised on the puck, and Edmonton is getting better every shift. They've got to calm things down, simplify things, and manage the puck much better in the defensive zone.
Caruth causes his own headache as he put it right on the tape of Michael St. Croix, who's been in on all 3 goals. A goal and 2 assists now for St. Croix, as Edmonton with 3 goals in quick succession. And they lead it 3-0. And what a moment for 17-year-old Ashton Sotner, his first Western Hockey League goal, and Ruck draws an assist. I thought it was on the tape of St. Croix. We'll get another look at it. The same line, nonetheless, responsible for all three of those goals in short order.
Good support by Peters, in the defensive zone on the turnover. Peters is supporting his man quickly to get the puck out.
The Oil Kings with three quick ones in the driver's seat here in the first. And Ashton Sotner, enjoy, young man. Those don't happen every day.
Welcome back to Edmonton, where a flurry of goals by the Oil Kings has them up 3-0 over the Portland Winterhawks. Now joined by head coach and GM Mike Johnston. Mike, talk about what you just chatted with your team in this timeout about a tough flurry of goals here.
Yeah, I thought we were doing a lot of good things. Obviously, they scored a couple quick ones, and then Matt gave that one away. Usually he's pretty good with the puck. That's unusual for him. I just think we're doing some good things. We've got to keep the pressure on their defense, but we've got to be responsible. That second goal is a little bit on the back check.
By no means is this team out of a game when they're down. Plenty of scoring weapons for you guys to pop back into it.
Oh, for sure. We know we can score, but we've got to make sure that we tighten up a little bit defensively, for sure.
Coach, thanks so much for doing this. Good luck the rest of the way. Guys?
Matt Carruth has given up 3 goals here in the first period, and we kind of wondered a little bit whether Mike Johnston should have called the timeout. He did know that he had the television timeout, Kevin, coming up, and obviously opted to go in that direction.
Well, if that's the case, and that's a wily move by Mike Johnston. And my first thought was to call the timeout and just settle things down, because he knows that his team is capable of much better, and they're scrambling a little bit right here.
Ruck's third opened it. St. Croix with his fourth, and then Ashton Sotner, the 17-year-old from Wolseley, Saskatchewan, with his first ever Western Hockey League goal. And looking for more is Benson. Stopped on the short side, looking for not only his first goal, but his first point in the Western League. Reinhardt, been a tower of strength early in this one. To Benson. Benson working on Pouliot, shows good speed as he goes wide. Pouliot recovers well and takes over. Pouliot, a member of Canada's gold medal winning team in August at the Ivan Holinka Under-18 Memorial Tournament. Leipzig into the zone versus Keegan Lowe. Brendan Leipzig behind the net. The wraparound try. Trott bangs away a couple of times, and Trott stopped by Lauren Bressois. As we go back once again to Jordan Greenlee.
Thanks, Peter. You guys mentioned that point after the Oil Kings scored their third goal where Coach Mike Johnston was debating to call a timeout. He looked at his guys, he was very calm, and he just said, guys, we haven't faced a lot of adversity this season. This is our chance. It's your turn to pull out of it. I'm not calling a timeout. You guys figure it out, and that's how we'll go about it. Gentlemen?
Oh, what a great move by Mike Johnston, if that's the case, where he's putting ownership onto his players. He's showing a lot of trust in them. Obviously, he believes in their maturity to send that message to them that he believes that they can sort things out for themselves.
Those Oil King goals, 3 of them in 1:25 by my quick math. And thanks to the guys in the truck. DeLeo, his shot blocked by Keegan Lowe as the Winterhawks with some pressure on. William Wren, their captain, that deflects off Ruck into the corner. And the red-hot line of St. Croix, Lazar, and Ruck right back out there as they've been responsible for all 3 tallies here in the opening frame. And here's Lazar again, dropped it neatly. St. Croix backhander just over top of the net.
Well, what a crafty trifecta in these 3, where just when you think there's no other option but to chip the puck or dump the puck, they just seem to find a small lane that's open, and all of a sudden the seas part and opportunities offensively are created. These guys are special together.
Curtis Lazar showing why he was that number 2 overall pick in the 2010 Bantam draft, and why he was absolutely lights out for British Columbia at the Canada Winter Games last season, when he led the way with 17 points in that tournament.
I think he may have broken a record. A couple guys, a guy by the name of Crosby and Stamkos, no big deal, but not a bad record to hold.
That's okay. Company. Bressois with a nice toe save on the point shot by Ty Ratty, who's had a couple of opportunities to add to his totals. in this opening
Tonight's
frame.
cycle team of the game guests are the Northeast Zone Eagles sitting in section
Laurent
14,
Brossoit
14 and 15.
really came on late last season.
You can register your team online.
And has been very sharp as he stops Ty Ratty from about 55 feet away.
Well, nobody's played more minutes in the Western Hockey League than Brossoit, and you're right, he really found his own in the second half of last season, and he's turning out to be a difference maker. He's going to be an elite goaltender, is an elite goaltender in this league.
It might be 3-0, but the Winterhawks have had plenty of good chances to find the back of the net themselves. Pouliot runs into Lowe, and Pelch nearly got free in the neutral zone as Ryan Deck. And Deck's hit on Leipzig may have really set the tone for Edmonton on that hip check earlier in the period.
Absolutely. Anytime you can get a big highlight reel hit like that, it makes your team feel bigger, feel stronger, and it gets the adrenaline flowing on the other side of things, especially starting a long road trip like that. It can deflate you a little bit.
TJ Foster off to a very nice beginning as he makes his way to the bench. So far this season, 12 points. Second on the Oil Kings scoring parade. Baker back out for the Winterhawks with Peters and Charles Wells. Baker into the zone versus Reinhart with Gernat. Wilson on the outlet, cross ice for Jordan Peddle. Reinhart joins the rush. Big rebound allowed that time by Caruth. But Baker was there to send it out of harm's way before Jordan Peddle ran into him. Clark Wilson intercepted by Ross, and Hansen will settle things down. Witherspoon, good lead pass to DeLeo, and Leipzig a little impatient, trapped in on the offside.
Talk about neutral zone execution, and although the Oil Kings have had some turnovers and some broken plays in the neutral zone, you look on the other side of things, and it's because the Winterhawks are doing a good job pressuring and cutting the ice in half and being on the defensive side and tight on their checks. There's not a whole lot of room in the neutral zone. Give credit to the Winterhawks.
Lazar comes back out at center, the 16-year-old from Vernon, British Columbia, with St. Croix and Ruck. Matched against Leipzig, DeLeo, and Brad Ross. Pesic and Ross dealing with one another. St. Croix trying to dig it free, and it belongs to Keegan Lowe. Lowe up the middle, off the stick of Lazar, and Pesic takes over again. Pesic with 5 assists on the campaign, and he steamrolled Leipzig, who's been involved in every way, shape, or form, and Leipzig looks like he's shaken up.
Well, that's a big frame he ran into in Leipzig, and Pesic, pardon me, but an amazing play by Pesic with the puck on his stick. He goes from 0 to 60 in about a half a second, makes a pass, and as he's making the pass, takes a hit and knocks Leipzig down. He's a man here, drafted in the first round of the Buffalo Sabres. He's definitely got pro potential in him.
Deck to Sotner, who has a goal in this period. Sotner sends it in. Caruth to William Wren. He's from Anchorage, Alaska. Peters, Legault in neutral ice as Swenson carries on and backhands it into the zone. Brossoit, he's made 9 saves already into the last minute of the opening frame. Nice take in his skates by Foster, who plays it for the speedy Pelch, and he overhandled the puck and lost it to Swenson, and Peters tried valiantly to stay onside but wasn't able to.
Well, look at this. This is a big league play right here. Actually ends up losing the puck in Pesic, but he's behind his net looking for his options, moves his feet with the puck on his stick, and is able to take a hit. Just shows the size and the strength that he possesses.
Pesic, you would think, in contention for a spot on Canada's national junior team. The tournament starting right in this building on Boxing Day. Was at the final selection camp last December, and I'm guessing he'll be right back in the hunt again this year. Wilson dishes off for Rachitsky with Peddle driving the net, and a nice stick play by Rutkowski to lift it. Reinhart a shot, that's turned aside by Caruth as the Oil Kings looking for more here in the dying seconds.
Great second effort by Rutkowski coming back as he's got Peddle steamrolling to the net, looking for that rebound opportunity. Rutkowski has strong on his stick to take that away.
Ratty, the trailing Pouliot, dangerously in front. Pesic steered it away. And the buzzer goes to bring an end to the opening period. Bressois was excellent, and so was the line of St. Croix, Lazar, and Ruck, as Edmonton takes a 3-0 lead to the dressing room. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to Shaw TV, where after one period of play, the Edmonton Oil Kings hold a 3-0 lead over the Portland Winterhawks. I'm now joined by Portland defenseman Troy Rutkowski. Troy, tell me about that first period. A couple of unlucky breaks in a short period of time leads to an early deficit.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're going to get unlucky breaks at some point in time. So we're just trying to chip away at the lead now and hopefully get back in it here.
Talk about the ability for your coach in an opportunity where any coach would be scrambling to call a timeout. He has faith in you guys and confidence in you guys to pull things out.
Yeah, he's a great coach and he knows what he's doing. So I think he thinks we know we can chip away. I mean, we've been down before by 2-3 goals, even last game, and we just got to chip away, like I said, and get back in.
Talk about the experience of being here in Edmonton, playing in front of friends and family, a place that you're from, and what's the experience of this trip like?
It's awesome. I mean, anytime you can come home, Emily, I only get to play here 2 times in my whole career if I stay in Portland, so it's been great, and hopefully we can win.
I saw you guys with these shirts before the game. Tell me what's on it and how important this trip is for team bonding. 9 games in 17 days.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I think we're spending something like 50+ hours on the bus. So that's a lot of team bonding, and it's good for a team. It's good to see where you're at and good to see how we're doing. So yeah, it's been great. I mean, on the shirt we have every team where we have play in the shirt, and the 3K 11 means 3,000 miles because it's total distance, and 2011.
Troy, I'll get you to hold it up just for the camera up there, and thanks so much for doing this interview, and good luck here the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Let's head down the hall to Andy Neal and WHL Central.
All right, thanks, Jordan. Well, the WHL's Director of Communications, Corey Flett, tweeted that if you like hard rock, you'd like the WHL Plays of the Week this week. So here they are, the best of the best from the Western Hockey League over the last 7 days.
Herbert, Giants getaway. It's Burns feeding Teal. Burns for the middle, down low, they score. Oh boy, that's nice.
Down to the blue line. Now here comes Will in from the right side. Snapshot scores!
They're going end-to-end, 3-on-2 for the Rebels. Cowan to the trailer, it's centered for Barrico. Holy Hannah!
Noble skates around one man into the attacking zone, 2-on-1. Sanvino shot, big glove save by Matt Caruth, and he holds on.
On Park Gordon on the intercept, he'll feed Emerson Adam. Adam, he was bumped.
Hams with it, intercepted by Holmberg, gets it out to Keegan. Keegan trying to make a move, gets it to Holmberg, spins it up front, a shot by Kramer, he scores! What a pass by Mitch Holmberg! Kramer there to tuck it in. Play by Rinkel, but now Gamer has a short-handed break. He's off to the races, big slap shot, goal! What a save by Liston! I believe he got his pad on it.
Dirk away, up on the left side. Now it's Elgin Pierce. Embarks it over the Calgary line to the right circle trailer. Backdoor play. Sam Reinhart. Deke scores! What a pretty play. Sam Reinhart.
Top the right circle. Olsen pitching down low to Henry. Oh, and Olsen scores! How about that tic-tac-toe passing? Another power play goal and another first career WHL goal for Dalton Olsen.
Leipzig decided, well, I'm going to make him all the way into the bench, and that's exactly what the call is. The first hit, very clean, but Leipzig gets his feet back, and he decided he wanted to put Rankin all the way in.
3 times and finally does. Boz down low to Lowry. Out front, Gordon! What a save again by Liston!
Picked up by Fioretti on the line change. Down the right Bronco boards. Fioretti at the goal line with men towards the net. Fioretti dangled. Scores! Oh, Sam! Sam Fioretti!
Burkholz trying to build some speed through the neutral zone. Right through traffic. Burkholz holds, pitch the D down to the front. Backhand try, and he scores! Oh, what a goal by Josh Burkholz!
All right, here's the shirt that Jordan was so desperately trying to get everyone to have a look at. So there you go. Winterhawks 9-17 rise and rise again. So we have Kent Simpson after the break, the Oil Kings color man. It is a 3-0 Edmonton Oil Kings lead over the Portland Winterhawks through 1 on the WHL on Shaw. Three-0 lead for the Edmonton Oil Kings over the Portland Winterhawks at Rexall Place in Edmonton on the WHL on Shaw. Michael St. Croix, by the way, his goal and an assist in the first period, extending his games point streak to 6. Please be joined with Kent Simpson, the color analyst for the Edmonton Oil Kings on their home broadcast. And we were talking off the break, Kent, about the excitement in Edmonton for this Oil Kings team in their 5th season. The expectations were high, and it appears that they are living up to those.
You know what? They were really high to start the season, and obviously with a lot of guys returning and a lot of big seasons last year from some players. Michael St. Croix, you mentioned, Dylan Ruck, of course Mark Pesic back, and so off to a terrific start this year the Oil Kings are. And you know what's kind of nice, I mean, General Manager Bob Green had a plan in place, and I think year 5 was where they were really going to see the results, and so far so good.
Yeah, have they ever. You talked about St. Croix, but Martin Gurnett, the defenseman from Slovakia, has led the way with 15 points going into this game, but not only his size, but what else does he bring?
Well, he's been a revelation, I'll tell you that. Of course, an Edmonton Oilers draft pick, but you mentioned the size. He's got a terrific, offensive mind for the game. So sometimes he likes to take a few chances. And the one thing I must say that I really like to see from the Oil Kings is they haven't really inhibited that a whole lot yet. But he's got such a long reach that even though he might be a stride behind, and you might think, he may have overcommitted on a play and given up an odd man rush or something, he's really good on his stick and can snuff that out in a second. And when you give him the puck on the power play, he's really good at distributing it, and also he's got a pretty good shot too.
Portland's the Western Conference champs. Is this something that you think the Oil Kings circled and said this is a statement game for us?
No question. I mean, obviously this is a team they don't see very often. This is the lone meeting between the two clubs tonight, but you always want to measure yourself up against the best, and last year Portland was in the West, and they had a pretty good game last year in Portland. They fell 5-2 with a couple empty net goals, but I'm sure that they wanted to show not only Portland but the rest of the league that they're for real.
Last season goaltending was maybe a bit of an issue, but Laurent Brossoit really stepped in nicely at the end of last year, and he's picked up great save on Brad Ross there in the first period, but that's got to be nice to have that stabilizing force in the goal as well.
You know what? He's been great for the Oil Kings this season, and he's been their horse. He's been playing a ton of minutes, and of course the Oil Kings had kind of a 3-goalie situation to start the year. They moved out John Groenheid, and I think that was a real signal for Laurent Brossoit that, hey, this is my team, this is my time. I'm going to get the bulk of the starts, and I've got to prove to not only my teammates but everyone else that it was the right decision, and certainly it has been so far. He loves to play a lot. He's not getting tired, and like we saw in the first period, obviously some big stops.
Thoughts on the Winterhawks? Ryan Johansson, Nino Niederreiter not in. Also a scratch is Sven Baertschi as well, so they're missing some key guys. Obviously they've got loads of offense, but Johansson and Niederreiter up at the NHL level, those are 2 big losses.
Oh, they are. And, from the first standpoint from the Portland Winterhawks, they can't worry about those 2 guys. I mean, obviously, there's no question that they're going to miss 2 huge scores like that. They've got to worry about the team that they have in their lineup right now and basically say, hey, this is our team right now. If we get a boost in a week or 2, so be it, but we got to move forward like that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Columbus and New York, respectively, to see if they come back. But nonetheless, this is going to be a good team without those 2 guys.
Medicine Hat's on a roll right now, but going into the season, I mean, what were the expectations in the Central Division? Red Deer without Nugent Hopkins, who we saw last night in the game against Minnesota for the Edmonton Oilers, but is there expectations on this team because of how wide open it is?
I really think there is, and the way the WHL is, it can be up and down, and I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of a change, especially in the Central Division. Calgary Hitmen, that have always been so strong, they might be taking a little bit of dip. Of course, Red Deer, I think it kind of depends on Nugent Hopkins there, but I think the Oil Kings saw that there might be an opening near the top, and if they can, especially play well against those division rivals, they may have a chance to be there at the end.
Curtis Lazar, 2nd overall pick. What about him?
Well, 3 assists in the first period tonight, not bad. But the one thing that I love about this guy, he's got tremendous poise with the puck. You know, he's a 17-year-old player. He acts like he's a veteran out there. He's got, great hands around the net. But the other thing, he's not afraid of the rough stuff. And he can get first on the forecheck, isn't afraid to play the body. So you love to see that from your young guys as well.
Let's talk about Saskatoon is the host for the 2013 Memorial Cup as well. There may be a little bit of surprise. I was convinced it would be Red Deer myself, but what do you think of the announcement of Saskatoon?
Well, I think probably a lot of Albertans were hoping it would be Red Deer as well, because it's been a long time since the Memorial Cup's come to Red Deer, but Saskatoon's going to be a fabulous host, and you know that Lauren Mulliken is going to put a fabulous team together. So, it's a great building. It's a terrific city. That whole province will get around that, and I think it'll be a great festival.
1974, the last time the Memorial Cup was in Alberta, that was in Calgary. So any whispers about maybe Edmonton in 2016?
Well, who knows? I mean, this would be a terrific place to have the Memorial Cup. Edmonton gets behind every kind of party that comes to this city, so I'm sure the Memorial Cup would be no exception.
Appreciate it. Kent Simpson, color analyst for the Edmonton Oil Kings. You got a radio broadcast to get to.
I got to get back upstairs. That's right.
Good stuff. Thanks for doing this, Kent.
Thanks very much.
There's Kent Simpson, the radio color analyst for the Oil Kings. Let's go out of town. Kamloops Blazers, they are in Alberta right now, leading the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the first 3-2. Knotted at 2 in Prince Albert between the Swift Current Broncos and the Raiders tonight. Medicine Hat Tigers, they've won 5 straight. They're up on the Brandon Wheat Kings in the first, 1-0. And it's scoreless right now between the Red Deer Rebels and the Moose Jaw Warriors in Red Deer. Prince George Cougars starting back-to-back with the Tri-City Americans and scoreless at the CN Center. Saskatoon and Spokane, nothing to report out of Spokane as well. And it's scoreless between the Vancouver Giants and the Victoria Royals there in the first period. Also in the first, the Everett Silvertips and Seattle Thunderbirds scoreless as well. Through one period of play, it is a 3-0 lead for the Oil Kings. Just a reminder for all your WHL news, go to www.whl.ca. Back with more from Rexall Place in Edmonton. Oil Kings leading the Portland Winterhawks by 3-0 count of the WHL on Shaw.
Welcome back here to Rexall Place, where the Oil Kings with a 3-0 lead. Peter Loubardias alongside the former Spokane Chief and NHLer in Kevin Sawyer. And my friend, what a difference a minute 25 can make.
Unbelievable. The Kings scored in a flurry, but I thought it was as a result of great plays in tight and out-muscling the Winterhawks on the puck right here. As you see, Ruck with a give and go. Right away, he distributes the puck, gets to an open spot. That's a goal scorer's goal. Picks the corner, has no time, and gets the shot off.
Ruck very responsible, along with the youngster Curtis Lazar, and this beauty, which Michael St. Croix finished off for his 4th of the year that made it 2-0.
And right here, like you heard Johnston say, uncharacteristic move by Caruth, mishandles the puck, and St. Croix is there to capture the turnover and makes no mistake getting the puck out net front for Sautner to score his first WHL goal to add to his 5 assists in this young season. Great job by them.
Do you remember your first Western Hockey League goal?
I can remember every single goal I've ever scored, Western League and Pro.
Teams coming back out onto the ice, and Matt Caruth not particularly pleased giving up those 3 goals on 9 shots. Needless to say, he really did not serve himself well on the giveaway to St. Croix. St. Croix and Dylan Ruck both with 3 points in the game, and the youngster Curtis Lazar, just 16 years of age, with 2 assists. And that line was just terrific, not only in that one shift, but they really created a lot of havoc in and around that man all period long.
Well, it's amazing to me how they can execute in tight. It seems like there's no lane, time, or space, and they're executing very well in the O-zone with their passes.
Another youngster, 16-year-old Brendan Burke, is the backup. He's a product of Scottsdale, Arizona. And isn't it interesting how the American players have made an impact in this league the last few years? The league has done just a wonderful job in California, Arizona, needless to say the Washington area, which you're very familiar with, in finding players.
Well, the Western League holds an evaluation camp in Anaheim every spring. They do a great job scouting in Southern California, and you see more and more players coming out of the South, and they're great players as well.
See how the Winterhawks respond, as they had some glorious chances, but Lauren Brossois making all 9 saves that he was faced to deal with as Pesic carries the puck in on the offside. Bressois turned aside 17 of 18 in a 2-1 win here over Moose Jaw on Wednesday night. And you really could see, watching him down the stretch in the playoffs in the series against Red Deer in the first round, despite the fact that Red Deer swept Edmonton, that the Oil Kings had a good young player to work with between the pipes. Leipzig, who had an interesting first period to say the least, to DeLeo. DeLeo shovels it in, the puck rolls along the boards, and Hansen will keep it in. Ran into Wilson, and it's one-handed out of the zone by Jordan Peddle as Weatherspoon shoots it right on Bressois. Keegan Lowe intercepted by Brad Ross to the left point, and Weatherspoon. Tyler Weatherspoon, a good low drive. DeLeo backhand try from in tight, and it was blocked.
Well, good puck retrieval by the Winterhawks right here, capitalizing on a couple turnovers themselves.
DeLeo with a glorious chance again for the 15-year-old, and Bressois continues his stellar work.
Well, getting tested early here in the second period. This whole sequence started with a turnover by Keegan Lowe behind the net, and Portland in transition jumped on it, jumped on the opportunities. Lots of net front traffic. Brad Ross, as you see there, on the top of the crease, screening Bressois. Great job, though, to make that save as he had to go east-west.
Weatherspoon with a terrific entry pass to find DeLeo in the slot area that led to the opportunity. And Weatherspoon's really more of a stay-at-home type, but you can see early this season in his 7th game back from Calgary Flames camp that he's added that part to his game as the Winterhawks. Swenson had an opportunity to make that Patan from close range, and it was blocked again. St. Croix into the zone once more for Ruck. Ruck, another good wrist shot, and Caruth got a piece of it.
Well, St. Croix's got such skill and speed. You can see the players give him respect. When the puck is on his stick, he's moving his feet, he's moving his hands, and it seems like the C's part a little bit for him as well. Like I said earlier, the respect that he's given by the defense, it turns a lot of opportunities offensive.
Lazar and Ruck again with St. Croix, and a nice stick play by Rutkowski to strip the veteran Dylan Ruck. And Ratty off the stick of Sotner in the direction of Joey Baker, who is one of the more prominent Portland forwards, I thought, at least in a forechecking role in the opening period.
Well, I think that this Peters line is going to be a significant line all year long for the Winterhawks. We talk about scoring and supporting scoring. This team, or this line right here, is a checking line, no doubt, but they're going to have to find a way to get pucks to the net and generate some backup scoring just through simple hard-nosed play.
The product of Trail, British Columbia, Joey Baker a little too assertive that time as he makes his way to the penalty box, and here's why.
Anytime you get the stick around the waist or higher, that's a hooking call. Good job by the referees to recognize that you have to keep your feet moving and get body position on your check.
Oil Kings with their second power play opportunity of the game. They're 0 for 1.
Portland Winterhawks penalty to
Gurnett stripped by Ross, and a long shot from Peters that time that tested Bressois. Pesic, Gurnett, Pelch, Mitch Mraz, and Foster to start the power play, and Foster's shot from a sharp angle turned away by Matt Caruth, and Foster off to that good start. He's done the majority of his goal damage on the power play. Pass off his stick, and Foster gives chase against Weatherspoon. Charles Wells an opportunity to move it out, couldn't, now protects it. Pelch to Pesic, takes his time. His wrister with Big Mraz in front of the net, providing the screen, and Caruth did well to make that save.
Well, good pressure by the Oil Kings, moving the puck in the offensive zone. Although it was a long-range shot, good job getting the puck to the net as we saw TJ Foster making his impact, his presence felt in his 4th season with the Kings. This kid's got all sorts of skill and speed. All he needs is the puck on his stick for a half a second to turn it into a scoring chance.
5 goals on the year for the Slave Lake product, 4 of them on the power play. As the Lazar line comes back out, no surprise. Lazar, St. Croix, and Ruck, they've done the damage. Moving in was Reinhardt, and stripped by Brad Ross, and then Ross gets into it with Griffin Reinhardt.
And you know that Brad Ross is at his best when he's got that tenaciousness and that edge to his game right there. Doesn't push it too far and take silly penalties, but that's a big part of his game for him to be at his best.
Swenson nearly got away shorthanded before he's knocked down by Reinhart. Just 30 seconds to go in this Oil Kings power play. They were 1 out of 6 versus Moose Jaw in the win on Wednesday. Ran an opportunity to clear, and he makes absolutely no mistake. Brossois has to wait, and he'll play it behind the net for St. Croix. Durnak. An outlet pass to Keegan Lowe, who goes rink wide to Michael St. Croix. St. Croix to the line, and he'll shovel it in and give chase. And Carruth. Mike Johnston talks about how well he can play the puck. Maybe a little too well, as I don't think he realized the penalty had expired to Baker, and he ices it.
They got a great rental property for.
Well, nonetheless, it helps so much when you have a goaltender like Matt Carruth is so good at handling the puck. It's like having that extra defenseman out there. It makes it so much easier on the defense when you can rely and trust in your goaltender to put the puck in the proper spot.
Carruth leading the Winterhawks last year, one of their leaders, to the Western Hockey League Championship Series before losing in 5 to Kootenay after a 50-win season and a Western Conference Championship. Ryan Deck stripped by Taylor Lear. Rutkowski, another Edmonton product. Sautner out to the neutral zone, and Lear will shoot it cross corner for Trott. Trott dumps Ryan Deck, and Deck on his knees makes a pretty good play that'll now allow Peddle to clear it out. At least I thought he was, with some help from Sautner. Peddle into the zone with Wilson and Rachinski. Rachinski is shot, and no rebound allowed, courtesy of Matt Carruth.
Well, we talked earlier in the pregame show about Taylor Lear, who's a guy that was on the cusp of making the team last season. The coaching staff thought maybe better to send him back for one more year of grooming in midget, and this is a guy who they regard as one of their best players night in and night out, and although his stats don't show it, he's definitely doing all the right things to get the trust out of his coaching staff to be on the ice regularly.
Everyone wins a 2-for-1 voucher.
Foster backhand try by Stefan Legault, who already has 5 goals. Stopped by Carruth. Legault, a hat trick against Swift Current earlier this season. As a matter of fact, he's just 2 shy of his 7 goals from all of last season.
Well, a great heads-up play to get that puck. Wow, little seam right there. Very little time and space for Legault to get that puck, but he gets it on a stick and does the right thing by driving to the front of the net. That's where you're going to pay the biggest price to score goals. But Legault shows no fear of going to the net with the puck.
Has all 5 of those goals in his last 6 games entering this evening's play. A 3-goal outburst by the Oil Kings, a minute 25 apart in the first. The difference, Ross, and a 2-on-1 with Petan in the skates of the youngster and unable to transfer from skate to stick with Pesic right on top of him.
Great job, sorry Pete, great job by Pesic to get back. He gets caught flat-footed in the offensive zone on the blue line to turn it into a 2-on-1 for the Winterhawks, but he gets on his horse, gets back to turn it into a 2-on-1 with pressure from behind to break up that play.
Lowe shuffles it to the line. Morrow a wrister, and a good clear look for Brossois, who's seeing everything clearly in this game. That's his 14th save, and more pushing and shoving after a stoppage. And a penalty upcoming for roughing.
Well, as we said earlier, with Pesic getting caught flat-footed on the offensive zone blue line, you won't see that happen to him very often, but he's a veteran player, hard worker, and a great skater. He's able to make it even numbers by the time he gets back to the top of the circles in his own zone. That back pressure really forces Brad Ross to put that feet to tan skates, and great job by Pesic to get back and recover for his own mistakes.
Brad Ross, the Lethbridge product, takes a seat. Penalty minutes 20 and 21 of the year. He's done a pretty nice job so far in that category. 171 minutes in penalties and some suspensions along the way for Brad Ross last season. To me, he's all about 2 things. Do you walk the line? When he walks the line, he's a very good player. When he crosses it, that's when the trouble starts.
And that's going to be what he focuses on this year without a doubt, because he's a guy that has to play with that edge to be successful. That's just part of his game. He's got the skill, but he has to be tenacious, and he is. But he's maturing, and he knows he's at his best when he's got other people off their game, and he gets them that way by playing physical along with skill.
St. Paul on the power play, and Caruth out to cut down the angle, and again, no rebound to St. Croix with 3 points in the contest, an opportunity for some more.
Well, not a bad start for St. Croix. He's had 7 points in his last 5 games. Throw 3 more in for tonight. Not too bad here as of late. The son of Rick St. Croix, the former goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs, now I believe assistant coach with the Manitoba Moose. So he's got some DNA as far as hockey goes in the bloodlines.
A one-time 4th overall pick in the Western Hockey League Bantam Draft. Lazar stopped up at the line, and Wotherspoon the opening and sends it the length of the ice. And the Winterhawks with back-to-back penalty kills here in the second period. Lazar accepts it. He has 2 assists in the game with Ruck. Ruck takes a long look at St. Croix, likes to go back to Sotner. To Dylan Ruck. Pressured by Taylor Lear. Reinhardt just kept it onside. St. Croix back to Reinhardt. Reinhardt fakes the shot. Now he'll drive it. Goes off Wotherspoon's skate. Sotner to Ruck. Returns it to Sotner, the rookie defender. To Griffin Reinhardt. Wanted Lazar in front, went off his skate. Right back to Ruck. Some decent puck movement here. Ruck is shot. Caruth didn't see it, but it deflected out of play.
Well, a good job by the Oil Kings in the O-zone on the power play executing, but this Curtis Lazar, 16 years old, 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's playing like a veteran. He's got all sorts of pro tendencies. We heard him in the intermission talking about playing with 2 great players. He's getting a great opportunity. He knows to get himself open, and what he's doing is he's putting his big body net front right there, paying the price, looking for those second opportunities. Great job by the youngster here so far in the game tonight.
Gernad's pass off of Swenson with 35 to go in the penalty. Christian's Pelch for the speedy TJ Buster as a step on Wren. Tried to tuck it by Caruth on the short side.
Good patience by Caruth right there, tucking, holding onto his post, has confidence in his position. Very inactive, and that's a good sign with a goaltender that's playing with confidence.
Pesek, stick knocked out of his hands, and there'll be another Portland penalty with 14 seconds still remaining in the minor to Brad Ross. Anytime you seem in this day and age to knock the stick out of somebody's hands, that's normally the end result.
Well, to me, I'm old school here when it comes to this. I know you got to keep your feet moving and be responsible with your stick, but I'm of the belief is if someone knocks the stick out of your hands, it's because you're not hanging on to it tough enough. Hold on to your stick. To me right there, that should be a penalty against Pesek for not holding on to his stick tough enough.
With a 2-man advantage, Laxdal sends his top line right back out, but an important win. Rutkowski a chance to clear, and it did go off St. Croix out to neutral ice and offside, and Ruck didn't like that call very much, and Ruck with 7 points coming into the game has exploded with a 3-point night of his own. 78 points a season ago, a modern Oil King record since they've returned to the league for the Saskatoon product. Dylan Ruck and Derek Laxdal delighted to see him heating up again. Out there with St. Croix and the youngster Lazar. Lazar doesn't look or play like he's 16, does he?
Not one bit. He doesn't hesitate at all. He's first to pucks most of the time and willing to pay that price. He just doesn't seem to be intimidated one bit.
Brady a little frustrated on the offside call as 1:27 remaining in the slashing minor to Taylor Peters.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Pete, about how important it is to see one of your better players starting to get his confidence back. Off to a slow start, but with Ruck having an explosion in the first period offensively, huge. That's a great sign for his team.
Ruck now with 8 points in his last 4 games. Sotner, the outlet, and a good one to Rachinski on this power play as he comes out with Christian's Pelch and Foster on the second unit. Foster to Sotner, returns the favor. Good stick by Ross that time.
Real good job in the D zone. He cuts the ice in half, forces the puck to the half wall, and then breaks it up with an active stick. Good job by Ross.
Sodner delivers to Foster down low. Pelch in front, and Rutkowski with a stick lift on Raczynski that probably prevented a fourth Edmonton goal.
Well, it's a 2-on-1 for the Oil Kings down low. Raczynski knows his job and does a great job defensively. Trusts in Karuk, and he's got the shooter. He takes away the pass and very well likely saved the goal against.
Sodner away from Ross with a nice play. Raczynski returns it to Sodner, and his pass this time comes out to neutral ice. There's the one thing the Oil Kings haven't been able to do is really make hay on their power play, and this is their fourth straight opportunity.
Well, as good as they are on the penalty kill, first in the league, they know that they've got to give some special attention to their extra man. They haven't got to execute to the level that they would like here early in this season.
A look in behind at Ashton Sodner, who has his first ever Western Hockey League goal. He's the son of Blaine Sodner, who's been a longtime head coach at the University of Regina with the Cougars. And you can see some of those smarts as a result of growing up in that type of household. He had a great year in midget AAA with the Moose Jaw Generals, and off to a very nice beginning in his first Western Hockey League season. Now with 6 points, including his first goal, as another power play goes astray for the home Oil Kings.
Well, you see those tendencies in players like St. Croix and Lowe and Reinhardt. They've got their fathers who've made a living in this game, and it just helps so much. I mean, most of this game is mental anyways, and when you have somebody in a leadership role, a parent, that can help you along the way, it makes a huge difference.
Dylan Ruck in on all 3 goals, and it continues to be the Oil Kings in front by that total. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw Television.
Hockey, only on Shaw.
Welcome back to Rexall Place, where the Edmonton Oil Kings hold a 3-0 lead over the Portland Winterhawks. Coach, that early outburst for you guys with the 3 goals, what are your thoughts on this game so far?
Well, you know, it's a pretty close game. We struck quick there 3 times, but they're a pretty good hockey club. They've got great transition. We got to make sure we get puck deep and establish a forecheck.
Talking about the refined strength that this team has on the back end, without being net up to the defensemen, and with the improvement and the addition of Gernat, the ability for you guys to be able to protect these leads now.
Well, we're a lot deeper than we were last year, but obviously we still got to stay within our system, work, and keep it simple.
Fair enough, Coach. Thanks so much for this. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
Let's head upstairs to Peter and Kevin.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I like what Derek says here. His mindset is, although they're up 3-0, he knows that Portland's a potent team. They're great in transition, and they can't take their foot off the gas for 1 second.
Mitch Mraz. Some ice time now for the likes of Benson, Mraz, and Stevens. All the power plays have led to a couple of lines taking the yeoman's share of work here in the second period. There's the 3-goal outburst in the first, and interesting from Brossoit that time. That was a little trickier than it should have been, as he wanted to leave it for icing. It went off the outside of the post, Kevin.
Yeah, that didn't make that play as simple as it could have been, that's for sure.
No, not at all. And he's been terrific in the game, one of the reasons for the advantage. The swift skating Morrow one-on-one scored a sensational goal against Saskatoon at home in the 7-6 win over the Blades on Tuesday, but ran into Keegan Lowe on that effort. Morrow's not a good skater, he's a great skater. Pouliot out to center. Pesic, Wilson, nice backhand pass to Jordan Peddle. Peddle shot, gobbled up that time by Ross, and he'll find the speedy Ty Ratty with Nicholas Patan as they crisscross. Ratty has it again, and Pesic takes care of him. Wotherspoon off the stick of the youngster Patan. Lowe and Ratty battle for possession one more time deep in the zone. Some help from Patan this time. And Lowe shows his strength as he pins it against the boards with some support from Raczynski now. Rhett Raczynski to Peddle on the outlet.
Great job by Portland in the offensive zone. They're hounding the puck right now. First to pucks. Ty Ratty showed his willingness to get there first, although Lowe does a good job trying to contain him. Portland's doing a better job here with their effort in the offensive zone.
Clark Wilson, a one-time Brandon Wheat King to the line. Stopped up. Taylor Lear, a good lead pass for D'Elia. DeLeo, a wrist shot. Lowe that just went wide of the target. Rutkowski from close range. Brossoit got a piece then on the rebound. An opportunity for Leipzig. Lear a shot, a ton on it. And Brossoit just got a piece.
Well, it's amazing to me when you start doing all those little things right, like getting to the pucks first and finishing your checks, how great things start to follow. The hockey guards are watching. If you take care of the little things, the big things are right there after.
Portland's going to be penalized again by my count for a 5th straight time. And Rutkowski having some words now in the corner with Red Ryczinski, and Leipzig's on his way to the penalty box and doesn't like it.
Well, an untimely penalty, to say the least, for the Winterhawks, where I really thought that they were starting to gain some momentum. The last thing they wanted to do was take that away by going down a man.
Hard to mount much of a comeback, Kevin, when you find yourself in that position all period long, as the Winterhawks have.
Well, discipline is huge, absolutely. You got to play at least even strength to give yourself a chance to get back into this one.
Winterhawks tied for 9th in the penalty killing department at just under 81% coming in. They've done a good job in that department tonight. Rock, St. Croix, Lazar, Reinhardt, and Gernat on the Oil King power play.
Great job by Pouliot down low. He's got an active stick, taking away the lanes, breaking up the plays. Great job defensively.
St. Croix with some help from Ruck. They dig it loose. St. Croix into the high slot area now for Foster. Foster off St. Croix. Ruck relays it to Gernat. Gernat. Ruck tees it up. Foster the drive, and he shot it wide. St. Croix again to Ruck. No Lazar this time. Foster dishes off. Ruck. One extra move, and Ross strips him, and the outlet that just missed Peters at the blue line.
I think Portland's doing a really good job cutting the ice in half in the defensive zone with on the short-handed kill. Pushing the puck to one side of the ice, and then they're collapsing down in the corner.
Pelch, a wrister, and a beauty. And Christian Pelch makes it 4-0.
Well, that seemed like an innocent enough play. Probably one that Ruth wishes he had back, but nonetheless, Pell streaking down his strong side left wing and wires one. It looks like it goes off the bar and in. Beats Caruth down low.
Some kind of shot by Christian Pelch as he delivers it with authority and just onside at the line, underneath the bar. A power play goal for the Oil Kings, and for Christian Pelch, his 4th of the year.
Well, another draft pick by the Edmonton Oilers in 2010, picked in the 7th round. Had 33 points last year, pretty decent season, and that is a big-time goal off the bar.
And fair to say, another player that Derek Laxdal's hoping will really break out.
The sign of a good goal scorer is how quickly he can get the puck off his stick with accuracy. And right here, it's on quick and boom, it's gone. Great release.
To number 16, Foster, and to number 8, Reinhardt.
Reinhardt and Foster draw the assists on the power play goal by Christian Pelch to turn it into a 4-0 lead. And you had to wonder how long the penalty parade would go on before it resulted in an Oil King marker, and now they're back in transition looking for more. Rutkowski, nice recovery to stop up Peddle, but he finds Ryczinski. Sotner wanted the stick of Peddle for a redirect. Lowe, a hard drive. That goes wide on the short side is Sotner. Nice hustle to keep it in as the puck off the stick of Taylor Lear into row number 2.
Great job by Rutkowski. All night long, I think he's been making manly plays defensively, finishing the body in the offensive zone. He steps up on Peddle and pastes him. Peddle does a good job staying on the puck, gets back, but Rutkowski turns around and makes it even numbers again, coming back into the defensive zone. Great job recovering for yourself after you maybe lose a step or two on a guy. Good effort by Rutkowski.
The 19-year-old, 6'2" and 195 pounds, is Troy Rutkowski, a draft pick of the Colorado Avalanche, 5th round in 2010. Cole Benson scoots to the puck. Benson, an opportunity, and right into the crest on the jersey of Matt Carew.
Well, Benson's coaching staff had all sorts of good things to say. This isn't a very big guy in stature, but when your coach refers to you with pro tendencies, a 16-year-old has got a mind for the game, he's got skill for the game, and those are good things to have. He doesn't get a whole lot of ice time in a young WHL career, but doing great things out there when he gets the chance.
Benson, a key member of Team Alberta that won the bronze medal at the Canada Winter Games last season. He had 7 points in that event, and Stevens is shaken up behind the play, slow to get up, and now the referee blows the whistle as Stevens is in some difficulty as he makes his way to the bench. Stevens in just his second game of the year. He's from Whitehorse in the Yukon.
And a tough thing to do. Hasn't seen a whole lot of ice time, as you said earlier, Pete, with a lot of specialty teams sitting on the bench cold a lot of times, gets thrown out there for his second shift in the last, I'd say, 5 minutes. But when you're cold like that and you start bumping and grinding, sometimes it's a lot easier to get an injury.
The Oil Kings with 3 goals in 1:25 in the first. All of them from the line on the ice now, Lazar, St. Croix, and Ruck. And a power play marker courtesy of Christians Pelch, the Latvian, here in period 2. Lazar creating havoc again in the offensive zone. Off Pouliot this time, and Ross, a good backhand pass for Leipzig. Brendan Leipzig works one-on-one, and Reinhardt again with a terrific play.
Well, it's a mismatch in size right there, but Reinhardt does a great job, and he's got his hands full in Leipzig, who's tenacious and won't give up on that puck, but Reinhardt just shows how big and strong he is.
As Ed Whalen used to say, a little bit of a malfunction at the junction right there involving William Wren and Brad Ross of the Winterhawks.
Well, St. Croix avoided a collision right there. No doubt that Portland's going to look to get physical right here, especially, at least they should. Target the best players on the other team, find a way to slow the other team down, in St. Croix in this case, and get some momentum for yourself. St. Croix avoided a big one there.
And an Edmonton penalty this time to Keegan Lowe. And we'll await that announcement. Obviously happened away from the puck, Kevin.
I didn't see what happened there as well. I missed that.
First power play opportunity for the Winterhawks. Or make that second power play of the night for the Winterhawks. First of this period. Pouliot, Ratty, Leipzig, Ross, and Morrow on the ice for Mike Johnston's team. Kai Ratty rolls along the boards. Here's Morrow now. Joe Morrow. Pouliot overskates the puck, and Raczynski with a little room to operate shorthanded. Raczynski working on a forward leer and drives the net with some authority, and the net comes off its moorings.
Well, authority with certainty right there. Rhett Raczynski has probably overachieved a little bit to start this season as far as expectations go, but that's a big-time play right there as he's driving into the net. Fearless. He's going to the post. He knows he's going to get hit, and he doesn't put on the brakes one bit.
Lowe the penalty for the extra shot after the 2 Portland players collided, and the reason he's in the penalty box. Mike Johnston having words, I'm guessing, about the location of the face-off here. Not the way he wanted his team to open a lengthy 9-game road trip.
Not one bit, as we said earlier, to start a long road trip. They're away from home for a long time. I think their next home game is November 11th. But to start a road trip like this, you want to have some success. If you're not going to win, you want to at least have some good things to build off of right here. And Portland isn't playing even close to their potential tonight.
First period was very even until that 1 minute and 25 second span when the Oil Kings found the net 3 times. I would say Portland had equally as many good opportunities as the Oil Kings prior to that. They've got one here, the Winterhawks do, on the power play, their second of the game. Morrow, no traffic, steered aside by the goaltender, Brossois. Rutkowski dealing with a broken stick, and Reinhart plays it off for Nicholas Patan. Patan, no stick for Foster. Morrow through the seam finds Patan. Layer to the front of the net. Rutkowski fakes it. Now he'll shoot it. He scores. Troy Rutkowski through the screen, and the Winterhawks on the board with a power play goal.
Great poise by Rutkowski on the blue line. Good recognition, knowing that TJ Foster is without a stick, so virtually it's a 5-on-3, so they've got that free seam, and Rutkowski fakes the shot initially, opens up that lane, and wow, does he shoot a pellet top corner right there to put Portland on the board. Something to feel good about. I think Rutkowski has been one of the best players on the ice tonight for the Winterhawks.
Third of the season for Troy Rutkowski, and his second in as many games. He scored on Tuesday night in the Wild shootout win at home over the Saskatoon Blades. And the Winterhawks with a little life late in the frame as Ross dishes Hansen and Pouliot. Pouliot tipped in front, Leipzig stopped by Brissois. And how quickly that might have changed this game. St. Croix in transition with Lazar and Ruck.
Good defensive play by Hansen right there, taking the body on St. Croix.
He's been impressive. First look at Josh Hansen in person for me. Sautner down low to Lazar. Bumped by Pouliot. Ruck finds Gernad. Wrist shot, he scores! Martin Gernad, 6! And the difference is 4.
Well, Portland doing a great job pressuring down the half wall, as I think they've been doing a good job all night on the penalty kill, but you have to respect that weak side right there, and Gernat makes himself open, and what a great shot as he goes cross green and beats Caruth on the glove to get a 6th of the season.
Gernat, tremendous beginning, continues his 6th goal and 16th point.
If he's going to continue to score goals at this rate, there's no question in my mind that he's got to work on his celebration a little bit better than that.
How was your celebration back in the day? I don't really remember.
I changed up all 3.
Gernat with the goal, and Ruck with his 4th point of the game. As he's found his touch. And Curtis Lazar has his 3rd assist. An early career high for the 16-year-old. Pelch wants more too, and he has a 2nd period goal. Peters with Ty Ratty, and he fails to handle it cleanly. As Foster turns back in the other direction with Legault. Stéphane Legault. He'll shoot it. And Caruth makes the save. I kind of wonder right now a little bit whether we'll see Matt Caruth when the 3rd period begins. This will be a fantastic event. Mosaic Place, that beautiful new building. It's the Western Canada Under-16 Challenge Cup. What it does is it brings all the best 15-year-old prospects into the same event. BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba in the tournament format, a round robin where everybody plays one another once, and then it breaks off into a bronze medal and gold medal game a week from this coming Sunday. And if you're in that area and have an opportunity, I'm here to tell you, you will be very impressed with some of the stars of the future on their way to the Western Hockey League. And a penalty to the Oil Kings late here in the 2nd period.
Well, not for 1 minute do the Winterhawks think that they're out of this game. They've just got too much firepower and experience to believe that, and this is no time like the present to take advantage. They've been pretty decent on the power play. As a matter of fact, better than decent. They've been great on the power play this year. They're going to need an opportunity to convert here to get back in this game.
Morrow on the power play, 3rd of the game for the Winterhawks.
2 minutes for cross-checking.
Ty Ratty.
Time of the penalty, 19:42.
Goes off Gernat.
2 minutes.
Another block, this one by Legault, and Legault's done a nice job in that category as the buzzer goes. 3-0 Edmonton after one. 5-1 for Rexall and company after 40 minutes. The Oil Kings most certainly in the driver's seat. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw TV.
Welcome back to Rexall Place, where the Edmonton Oil Kings hold a 5-1 lead over the Portland Winterhawks, now joined by defenseman Keegan Lowe. Keegan, your thoughts on the game so far? You guys have been able to look pretty good early on.
Yeah, I think it's been a really high-paced game. Two skilled teams going at it, and I think we've done a pretty good job. We're not playing our best hockey. I think we can come out with a lot more in the third.
Talk about the ability for this team to be able to shut things down on the defensive end with yourself and Mark, and being able to strengthen things now with Gernat. How strong is this defense?
Yeah, I think we have a really promising D-core back there. I mean, obviously, myself and Mark played together last year, and then Griff is a tremendous player, and then new acquisition in Gernat is he's a great player, fun player to watch. Not only is he good in the O-zone, but takes care of things back home too. And then we have Ryan Deck, Mason Gertson, and Ashton Sotner, who are all three great defenders too. Could be good guys on other teams, so we have a really strong D-core.
Then LB stepped up big in the net too.
Yeah, LB's been playing great for us, which is good to see.
What's the experience for you being drafted this year and heading off to Carolina Hurricanes training camp? What was that like, and what were the biggest things that you picked up from that team in those 3 weeks you were there?
Well, that was a great experience for me. I mean, I learned a lot, and just the biggest things for me were seeing what I have to do to get to that level, seeing the things I have to improve on to get better, and I think that's the best thing for me to take out of it, and see that it's close. It's not too far away. I just have to keep working as hard as I can, and I just know that it's there, and if I want it, I can go get it.
Keegan, thank you so much for your time, and good luck here in the third period, the rest of this game.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's head down the hallway to Andy Neal in WHL Central.
All right, thanks, Jordan, and way to stay away from those sponge pucks, he and Keegan Lowe. Please be joined with Jordy Weidman, the Director of Business Operations for the Edmonton Oil Kings. 5-1 lead for your team, so it's a pretty good night so far.
Yeah, so far so good. Knock on wood. Actually, the team is playing very well. They played very well all season, including a huge road trip, and it's nice to put some wins together at home, hopefully tonight.
With the expectations going into this season, how nice was it to be able to kind of build around what this team could do this season?
It's very important, actually. We're kind of in that stage right now, year 5, coming out of expansion. You kind of go through that expansion cycle. So this is the year where we really see all of the draft picks that Bob Green has put into play, and all of our players that have really kind of developed over the last 2 seasons together, and hopefully we make that next big step this year.
Well, big event here at Rexall Place and in Calgary, the World Junior Hockey Championship. How's the preparations going for that?
Really well. We're very excited to have the tournament. It's hard to believe that it's just a couple of months away with all the planning and all the process involved just to get to here. So very proud co-host of this tournament, and so far so good. And actually, the Oil Kings have some of the last tickets available to get to the World Junior Hockey Championship. We purchased a bunch of tickets so that we could offer them to our customers. So we went out to our customers, gave them a shot at them, and they took us up on most, but we had some left over, and we've turned those into some World Junior mini packs. So all 5, actually there are 5 tournament games for the tournament games here at Edmonton, plus 9 Oil Kings games this season and 9 Oil Kings games next season for $4.99. So, I mean, hopefully we're accomplishing some of the goals that the tournament set out for, and that's to build junior hockey in Edmonton. So we're really trying to connect the dots this year with all the fans in town, so they really see the players that play in this league, and of course the next step is the World Junior Tournament, and then not far off is the NHL.
Yeah, the season ticket prices came down this season for the Oil Kings. I'm guessing building a family environment, or more of a family environment, is that the key for you guys coming out of the off season?
Absolutely. With our new season and new pricing, we really wanted to make it even more affordable for families to attend Oil Kings hockey this year, and we think we accomplished that with our season seats, and as well as the tickets that you buy when you walk up to the door. So now we've got the value seats, as always, for $15, and the best side seats are just $20. We've got some flex pack options and some family pack options that we're coming out with next week that you're going to be able to bring your family of 4 to a game for under $80. So that's really what we were trying to accomplish, and we've got a lot of other big ideas that we can't wait to execute as well.
How about some promotions that you guys are trying out? Are there new ideas for this season as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the first of our kind of 11 or 12 big nights this season. season with our Friday Food Frenzy and 50% off all food items at the concession tonight. So I can tell you for sure that all the fans are taking advantage of that one. But we really decided to focus intensely on those 11 or 12 games, and we'll have some fun tonight. The Hanson brothers are coming back this year. They were on Shaw TV last year on that game against Moose Jaw, and we've got a military night coming up and fan appreciation, and we've got a lot of fun planned for this season for sure.
Yeah, what about the excitement? It's a pro town in Calgary, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland. Those teams have to deal with it as well. I mean, what about the buzz around the city about the Oil Kings, especially the way the team has started off? 31 wins last season was a team record, and a win tonight would make you a quarter of the way to breaking that. So got to be a lot of excitement around town.
Yeah, there is a lot of excitement, but I mean, with a record of 7-3-1-1 heading into tonight's game, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goes and scores a hat trick, the Oilers get a lot of the headlines. So absolutely, I mean, we recognize that, and actually, we don't hide from the fact that we are part of the Oilers family, and of course, Daryl Cates owning the Edmonton Oil Kings as well. So we don't hide and shy away from that, but we really are paying very close attention to what happens with the big club, and hopefully the hockey fans will pay attention. Like a big part of our marketing of the game tonight, of course, is all the NHL content in the game with all the draft picks that Portland has, and we had a record number of players attend NHL training camps this year for the Oil Kings as well. So I think people are starting to connect the dots, and they're coming out to experience and take in this great hockey.
A lot of the news around Edmonton and people are talking about is the new rink, or the potential for a new rink here in Edmonton. What would that mean for the Oil Kings?
Well, the Oil Kings would move into the new arena, so we're very excited and paying very close attention to what our parent company is doing as far as that goes. And I mentioned kind of our business planning and our promotional nights, and we've got a lot of a great business model that we'll really be able to execute once we get our own arena and are able to run the arena ourselves. And when I say we, I mean Rexall Sports Corporation and the Edmonton Oilers as well.
Rexall Place, I love coming here, but is it time, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about the possibilities of chance to revitalize downtown and get into that new environment, and our players really take advantage of the fact that they're just down the hall from the Edmonton Oilers as well. So I mean, we share some of the same workout facilities, and it's quite often where we're practicing a little bit later on and the Oilers are just wrapping up, so our players get to meet the Alish Hemskys and the Sam Gagnes and the Jordan Eberles, and of course a few of them even played against Jordan in this league. So absolutely, there's a connection there, and it's something that our players are really excited about to be a part of.
Perfect. Appreciate your time, Jordy. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Andy.
There's Jordy Weidman, the Director of Business Operations for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Well, a player unfortunately not going tonight is Sven Baertschi. He is the current Western Hockey League Player of the Week. He had 3 goals and 4 assists in 2 games last week, as he is the WHL's Player of the Week, and with now 17 points on the season, 5 goals and 12 assists in only 8 games since he returned from the Calgary Flames training camp. His team is in a hole, down 5-1 to the Edmonton Oil Kings at Rexall Place. Back with more on the WHL on Shaw. Back at Rexall Place in Edmonton, Friday night WHL action between the Oil Kings and the Portland Winterhawks. Kamloops Blazers, they are on a roll right now, and they are up on the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the second in Lethbridge, 5-4, as the Blazers make their way through Alberta. Swift Current up on the Prince Albert Raiders. They're in the third in PA. It is a 3-2 count for the Broncos over the Raiders. Also tonight, on a busy slate in the WHL, the Medicine Hat Tigers trying to make it now 6 in a row, and they have a 4-1 lead on the Brandon Wheat Kings. The Wheat Kings have snuck up in the East Division as well, but they're in tough in the second, trailing the Tigers by 3. Scoreless in Red Deer right now between the Rebels and the Moose Jaw Warriors as they do battle in Red Deer. Also tonight, let's take a look at the western side of the ledger, and the Prince George Cougars entertaining the Tri-City Americans. It's the first of 2 in Prince George between the Cougars and the Americans. Scoreless there. Those 2 teams swapped goaltenders in the offseason. Saskatoon Blades continue their U.S. trip here tonight against the Spokane Chiefs, and nothing to report so far as they are in the first period of play in Spokane. And also tonight, the Victoria Royals, 2-4 on the road this season, playing already their 4th game against the Vancouver Giants. They are scoreless in the first period in Vancouver. Seattle and Everett, nothing to report in the first period in Everett between those 2 U.S. Division clubs, Seattle and the Silvertips. Through 2 periods of play between the Edmonton Oil Kings and the Portland Winterhawks, it is a 5-1 Oil Kings lead over Portland. And for more information on the Western Hockey League, scores and all the news around the league, just go to the website at www.whl.ca. Third period is on the way in a little bit as the Oil Kings look for their 8th win of the season, up 5-1 over Portland on the WHL on Shaw. Back at Rexall Place in Edmonton, the Oil Kings with a 5-1 lead over the Portland Winterhawks with 20 minutes to go. Well, our Husky profile tonight looks at the Edmonton Oil Kings, and we've talked about the expectations for that club coming into this season, and Jordan Greenlee takes a look at how the youngsters have taken that next step for Edmonton.
The Oil Kings are off to a great start, led by 18-year-old goaltender Laurent Brossois, who has stepped into the starter's role this season.
Well, last year was a big year for him, obviously being the backup behind John, and then obviously getting the number one spot this year. And the Western Hockey League is a development league, and we have to let LB take that number one spot and get those quality minutes, and then you bring in Tristan Jarry, our 16-year-old, who's the future goaltender of the Oil Kings. So you got to make sure you look after him both ends of the spectrum here right now, but LB's been solid, and Dustin Schwartz has done a great job with the goaltending consultant with him, and it's obviously the more success that LB has, the better off he's going to be, and he's going to enjoy playing the game a lot more.
It wasn't too big of a switch, because I got a lot of my starts last year at the end of the year, 2 of them in the playoffs. So I was ready for the role, and I was expecting it, and I think I'm going to get better and better.
This puck isn't the only thing from Slovakia on the Oil Kings roster, as the team added 5th-round Oilers draft pick Martin Gernat to their already strong defensive core.
Well, he can score, and sometimes we don't know if he's a left winger or a left defenseman, but, we like to activate our defensemen, and we feel our group's deep enough this year that we can, and he's a big part of our offense, and he'll be a big part of our success. You see a lot of the European hockey in his game. He gets a little cut of position defensively the odd time, but he's got a great knack for the net, and, he's well-liked in the dressing room. He's really fit in with the guys chemistry-wise, and, he's learning the game, and he's come in here and has some success for him early, and I think that's going to be easier for him to make the adjustment, but his biggest difficulty is going to be the defensive side of the game. Not only just one shift, just every shift in and out.
Gernat has tallied 15 points in 12 games thus far, as he continues to adapt to the North American game in his first season over from Europe.
It's a lot of difference. In my country, we play a lot of passes. Here it's different for hard play, and it's small ring and a lot of skating fast, and it's all good, but in start I have a little problem with this, but now it's okay.
One thing's for sure with the Oil Kings this season, they have an experienced lineup and are ready to make a run this year, as they're off to a 7-3 1-1 start.
Well, the Edmonton Oil Kings are right beside me, and they're ready to go for the third period, as are Peter Labardius and Kevin Sawyer. Gentlemen.
Andy, thank you very much. It's good. It's way better than bad if you're the Oil Kings, and Martin Gernat, who just happens to have his 6th goal of the year and his 16th point in his rookie season. I would say, Kevin, more of the same, and Portland hurt themselves with some penalty trouble in that period too.
That's going to be a key for them to stay even strength, but as you see here, Foster feeding the puck to Pelch, and what a quick release there, beating Caruth top corner. Didn't have much room there to get that one behind him. And Rutkowski right here on the blue line. Great fake, good poise. The defender for the Kings lost his stick. Rutkowski recognized it and let one rip from the blue line.
Dylan Ruck having an enormous night with a goal and 3 assists to lead the way on that big line as he chips in on the goal by Gernat with that nice feed to the left point. Pelch Reinhardt now has 3 points in his last 2 games. Foster on the mark, and Rutkowski, an unassisted goal that gave Portland a wee bit of life. But then the goal by Gernat was a quick answer. I speculated a little bit whether or not we might see a new goalie, and we do. 16-year-old Brendan Burke replacing Matt Caruth to start the third period, and he has not had a lot of work. The product of Scottsdale, Arizona, but thrown right into the fire in game 1 of a 9-game Portland Winterhawk road trip tonight, and the Chicago Blackhawk draft pick likely a little disappointed in his outing, I would think.
I would think so, and yet you can't pin the blame of the first 2 periods on Matt Caruth. I think that there was a couple that he wished he could have back, but why not shake things up? If you're Mike Johnston, you're down by 5-1, you're beginning a long road trip, shake things up, try something new, and who knows what can spark this team.
Well, Portland has lots of weapons, and they start this third period on the power play with the late penalty to captain of the Oil Kings, Martin Pesic.
Goal for the Portland Winterhawks, number 1.
The Winterhawks 1 for 3 with a man advantage in the game. Reinhardt breaks it up at the line, and Rutkowski forced back by Raczynski. who's been good in all 3 zones. Rutkowski has the lone Portland tally. Finds Ty Ratty. He moves into the zone. Ratty puts on the brakes. To the line, and Rutkowski. Traffic to the front. Morrow lets the high screamer. Ratty, he scores. Just what the doctor ordered for the Winterhawks. A quick power play goal.
Well, a great job by Ty Ratty having a nose for the net. You see it happen more and more nowadays with these active boards. A shot to the net, even if it misses it, could come off the boards and come on the weak side. So hard for a goaltender to make that save, but Ratty recognizes it's wide, puts himself in a position to release the puck. As we see here, the shot wide. Ratty's pouncing all over it and makes no mistake, under pressure, didn't have a whole lot of time, gets that puck upstairs in a hurry.
The pride of Airdrie, Alberta, Ty Ratty with his 10th of the year as he extends his point streak to 4 games and now has 7 points during that stretch. And the difference is 3 is the second-round pick of the St. Louis Blues, 32nd overall, with a quick strike here in the 3rd. Morrow picks up an assist, as does Rutkowski, who has been in on both Winterhawk goals. And Derek Laxdal comes right back with his top line after giving up the goal in Lazar, St. Croix, and Dylan Rock.
And a bump-up shift for Portland with their checking line in the Peters-Wells line. So a lot of confidence shown by their coaching staff as well.
Keegan Lowe to Dylan Rock. Rock with some space in neutral ice, and St. Croix a little impatient. Offside.
We'll talk about needing to respond quickly if they wanted to have a chance, and Portland does just that with the DDD pass. Morrow, he's got a great shot to begin with. Whether he missed wide or not on purpose, it doesn't matter because Ratty was there to pounce on the opportunity on the back door. Great job by Portland so far.
Ratty participated in the Canadian National Junior Team's summer camp. And with the start he's off to, one would have to think he has an excellent chance for December, as might Joe Morrow, who nearly set up Nick Patan.
Well, he looks like a hovercraft out there when he skates. He's just so smooth as he enters the neutral zone, puts the puck off the wall, passes it to himself, and single-handedly creates a scoring opportunity. Great to watch him skate.
And Morrow was also at that camp that was staged in this building. Ty Ratty, an excellent playoff. 22 points in the 21 games the Winterhawks played. Out there with Patan and Taylor Lear. Taylor Lear knocked off his stick by Gurnett, and here comes Pelch after it. He has a goal in the game, his 4th of the season. That's a good battle when you see 2 skaters like Morrow and Pelch go at one another. Taylor Lear can't quite get around Griffin Reinhardt, and on this night, that's been no easy chore.
Well, Edmonton does such a great job of holding their own blue line. It's because their defensive core, they're good skaters, and you have to be able to recover with that little amount of gap. And not to mention they've got such big bodies, it's just so hard to get by them.
Gurnett with a little skating room. Plays it on the wing for Stéphane Legault. Chips and chases against Wotherspoon. Wotherspoon with a solid jolt on the end boards against Legault. Deck pinching and overskates the puck, and back comes Brad Ross with Leipzig. Leipzig accepts it, leaves it. Ross, nifty pass. Hansen couldn't quite transfer from skate to stick as we start to go end to end. Peddle into the zone. Jordan Peddle attempted to go wide on Wotherspoon, who wouldn't have any of it. Deck again, and again it hops over his stick and might lead to trouble. Ross is tripped up, and there'll be another penalty. And the Winterhawks, who have scored both their goals on that power play, right back to the man advantage.
Well, you're starting to see some shades of what the Portland Winterhawks really can do. They haven't been bad all game long, but I know they haven't played the way they can. And led by Morrow and Ratty here, they've really picked up the momentum, and it's through hard work and plays like that by Brad Ross. He gets tripped up to where you draw your penalties and you're creating your opportunities like on the power play through hard work.
The Winterhawks 2 for 4 with a man advantage after the early goal by Ty Ratty. Legault with another penalty kill shot block. That's about number 4 for him.
Right from the very beginning of the game, he's been good at blocking shots.
Ratty into the zone with Leipzig. Leaves it for Leipzig. If he had that to do over again, he might have let it go at the net.
Yeah, you don't want to get too cute, although they do have all sorts of skill. And they've been making good plays here in the third period. You got to shoot the puck.
Rutkowski with a goal and an assist in the game. Leipzig DeMoro finds Brad Ross and Troy Rutkowski. A wrist shot blocked again, this time by Pelch. As the Oil Kings do a great job, and now it's a breakaway. Foster, he scores! T.J. Foster, shorthanded.
Well, a key mistake here in the offensive zone. Standing flat-footed, Rutkowski was, and again, the turnover. You're the last man. You have to be very responsible with that puck. Foster does a great job getting in the lane for another block shot and makes no mistake on the breakaway. It looks like he fakes to his backhand, opens up the legs, and slides it 5-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can...
6th of the year, a short-handed goal, and what a large marker for the Oil Kings. And all because they continue to do a good job of fronting shooters and blocking shots.
Absolutely, that's exactly right. They've done it all night long, especially on the penalty kill, sacrificing the body to block those shots, and that's led to a lot of scoring opportunities alone for the Oil Kings.
Still time left in this Winterhawk power play. Nice stick lift by Lear before he lost an edge, and it allows St. Croix to backhand it out to center. Pouliot stripped by Mitch Mraz, who nearly got free. Wells into the zone. Charles Wells, nice move. Wells steered it into the crease. How'd that stay out? Somehow it did.
Well, it was free in the blue paint, and Patan went sliding in. I thought for sure he'd knock that in.
Just waited for the light to come on. It never did. Pouliot and William Wren. Another block shot. This one by Mraz. That one makes it through. And Lear tipped it on target, and Bressois with a nice answer. Patan out-muscled by Pezic. Lear to a loose puck, jumps on it. Power play wrapping up. Pouliot fakes it. Pouliot, a good wrister, just missed.
Good patience by Pouliot. I think he's seen one too many block shots as he fakes the represented shot, holds, and steps around the defender and gets the puck through.
Best shift of the game for former Prince Albert Raider, Charles Wells.
Well, you see him driving wide here. Good job getting the puck to the net, and I thought that was certainly in as Patan goes in. He kicked it with his foot as well, and Bressois holding tight as we have a great angle right here. Yeah, it's free and clear. It looked like Patan kicked it right into Bressois.
And Bressois with the presence to kick out that right pad. Terrific save as it turned out by Lauren Bressois to keep his team in front by 4. A big short-handed goal by Foster after Ratty had cut the gap to 3 with an early power play marker.
And you almost have to feel bad for the Winterhawks a little bit because they came out in the third period to me and they were a different team and they were doing all the little things right that it takes to turn something like this around, and they were being rewarded for it with a goal, scoring opportunities, a power play, and then just a great job by the Oil Kings blocking shots, which turned the momentum quickly on that short-handed goal.
Sotner to Peddle, knocked off the puck by Leipzig. Leipzig wants the puck in Hezek. Brendan Leipzig cuts to the middle. Terrific pass and a goal. Sensational goal is first. Jason Trott. And it's 6-3.
Well, we haven't called his name a whole lot tonight, but talk about being in the right place at the right time. What a skilled play. And he puts himself in a great spot on the back door. But look at the hands by Leipzig here going outside, inside, draws everybody to him and slides it to Trott's forehand, and he makes no mistake. Again, Portland keeping their foot on the gas here. They're still in this.
Second of the season for the product of Anmore, British Columbia, Jason Trott.
Well, Leipzig does a great job as he's on his off wing and he looks like he's about to drive wide and he freezes the defender, pulls it to his forehand with all that open ice in front of him, and just makes a crafty play to set up for the third goal for the Winterhawks. Good job by him.
First goal since he found the net October 8th in a game against the Prince Albert Raiders. Belch back out with Foster. They both have a goal and an assist. To the line in Keegan Lowe for Pesic, and a diving play and a good one by Brad Ross to fall in front of that.
both teams are so well coached, and you can tell by those things. We're harping home here about the block shots, but these guys know what it takes and the price that you have to pay if you want to have success in this league. And led by, well, it seems like every player on the Oil Kings blocking shots, but Brad Ross again on the other side of things showing that he's willing to do the same.
It shows you a lot about a player in a 3-goal game, and make it 4. Wrist shot pass, new goaltender Brendan Burke. And a little shake of the head from Stéphane Legault as he has his 6th of the season.
Well, to me, the Winterhawks, they can't catch a break. I mean, again, this is a bit of an innocent play. Face-off win, good job by the Oil Kings, but shot from a poor angle. I don't know if the goaltender saw that or not, but every time the Winterhawks seem to gain some momentum, it just gets squashed by another goal that the Oil Kings answer to.
One the young man, Brendan Burke, I think would like to have back is after replacing Caruth. After 40 minutes, he's given up 2 goals. And Legault now just 1 shy of his goal total from all of last season with his 6th. And another point for Foster, his 3rd.
The assist to number 16, Foster. Time of the goal, 6:39.
Foster with 3 points, Ruck with 4, Lazar and St. Croix with 3 apiece.
Well, we heard Derek Laxdal before the game when we were having a chat with him talk about Stéphane Legault being a little bit of a late bloomer, and he's showing that he's hitting his stride here, having a great night tonight.
The Oil Kings top unit back out there, match this time against Riley Benefield, a rare shift for him. Number 12, Trott, who scored in this period, and Seth Swenson. Pesic rifles a pass. There's an NHL-type pass.
Absolutely.
Your body language up here told me that you were thinking it.
Well, it was. I mean, that's a big-time play, and rink wide like that took no time to get there.
Benefield kicks it into the corner. Mirage with Ryczinski and Wilson. An opportunity. Mirage driving with that big 6-foot, 2.5-inch frame. Knocked down as he went to the deke and slid it right through the crease.
He's got a couple goals in the season already. Learning to use his big frame and his body wisely net front. He's getting his goals from in tight, and like I said, with that big body, he creates a lot of time and space for himself.
Ryczinski to Wilson. Wilson, that shot deflects into the corner, and Edmonton not taking their foot off the gas. Pesic steered aside by goaltender Brendan Burke. And that may help settle him down a little bit because it's been a little tough since replacing Caruth. Lear just missed Ratty, broken up by Pesic. Another good play by the captain. And here's Foster, and you know he's feeling it right now.
And a good tic-tac-toe breakout. There's 4 quick little execution passes right there by the Oil Kings to get out of their zone. Good job.
Ratty one-on-one with Ryan Deck, who spins him around. Pinched by Patan, and Suttner, who has his first Western Hockey League goal in this game, plays it for his partner Deck, and Deck clears it in deep. Nearing the midway point of the 3rd period in the one and only meeting of the year of these 2 teams from different conferences. Deck finds Suttner. Suttner thought about it, now he'll shoot it, not a lot on it, and Blackton starting back is Morrow. Rolling puck finds Wells, and Suttner pushes him down.
Wells is having a good game tonight. The acquisition from Prince Albert in late September, they know they had to add some age, and he's really stepped in. He knows the league, he's a tenacious worker. He's got some skill, and apparently he's really well liked in the dressing room as well, so he'll make a difference for the Winterhawks.
Still looking for his first goal as a member of the Portland Winterhawks is number 14, Charles Wells. Leipzig, who drew an assist on the Trott goal. Brendan Leipzig again to the backhand, stopped up by Deck and then tripped by Leipzig. Foster the outlet to Wilson. One-on-one and excellently played by Derek Pouliot. Can't do it much better than that.
Great job on that body right there. He wasn't thinking puck one bit, body on body, and he squished that play all by himself.
Pouliot now on the stick of Leipzig. And Benson, nice work on the backtrack by the young 16-year-old forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is
The Oil Kings in command. Benson and the boys with a 4-goal lead. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw Television. Tough night for the Winterhawks, trailing it by a count of 7-3. Mike Johnston without a lot of weapons that he could have in his lineup. Look at this list.
Unbelievable. It goes to show you the scouting and the development that this organization puts in their team. But 15 guys went to training camps, drafted our invites. 8 guys on the active roster right now are drafted in the NHL. That's a pretty good sign. It's tough in September when they're gone, but nice to have them back, and a whole lot of depth on the Portland Winterhawks.
What's really neat for me is, growing up and following this league my whole life, you think back to Portland's great days of, the 80s, and they won the Memorial Cup in 83. They hosted the Memorial Cup in 86, and yet prior to Mr. Gallagher taking over that team, since he did and employed Mike Johnston behind the bench, now this is turning into, again, one of the premier franchises in the Western Hockey League, and for me, it's great to see.
And it didn't take them long either. Things were not going so well for them about 5 years ago, and it's quite actually surprising to me to see how quickly the organization did turn around.
And a lot of depth and good young players going forward, like 17-year-old Leipzig. He scores! Brendan Leipzig to the backhand, and Portland, they will not go away as the Winnipeg with his second point of the night, and it's 7-4.
Well, what a nifty little play by Brad Ross. Looks like he's turning up and throws a backhanded pass into Leipzig. And if anybody deserves to score a goal at this point, it's this guy. He and Joe Morrow, in my mind, have been the guys that came out here in the third and decided to take it upon themselves to change things around, and Leipzig's been all over the ice as he backhands that one in. So now again, we're within 3 goals. Now they need to bump up and hold court.
And now they're going to the power play as Taylor Lear with a good opportunity. Do not go away quite yet. And the Winterhawks, who have a couple of power play goals in this hockey game, another man advantage. And it's Pesic going back to the penalty box.
Well, I'd love to know what Mike Johnston said, or the leadership with the Portland Winterhawks, what was said in between the second and third, because like I said, I didn't think they were playing poorly in the first 2 periods, but they've really come out here in the third and shown what they're capable of. They've shown lots of offense. Their leadership to me has stepped up.
Following the Leipzig goal, his 3rd of the year. Another power play. Morrow to Rutkowski. He has a power play goal. Morrow fakes it. One-timer. Not much on it from Ratty, and it allows Gernat to clear it down the ice.
Time of the goal, 10:58.
Remember, Edmonton, the top penalty-killing team in the league, entering this evening's play.
Not a huge shock after seeing how many shot blocks they have.
Yet they've given up those 2 power play goals and have a short-handed goal, however, of their own. Leipzig right back out there. Nice feed to Ratty. Ratty cuts to the front and just slides it wide through the crease. Ratty looking for his 2nd power play goal of the period, and has it again right through the slot area. Morrow fakes with a rolling puck. Ratty in the corner, dealing with Gernat. Gernat steers it, not out. Morrow off the glass, glove down by Reinhardt, and one-handed away by Lowe, who has his 6th of the year in this third.
Good job by Reinhardt following up that play, not being lazy after the puck is leaving the zone. He's strong on his man on the half wall and proves to be the reason the play was broken up and leaving the defensive zone.
Morrow down low, he's stripped, and Pelch finds an opening and shoots it to goaltender Brendan Burke. In his 2nd game of the year. Rutkowski to Taylor Peters. Pelch, nifty turn away to his knee and can't clear it. Pouliot dealing with a rolling puck. Peters down low versus Keegan Lowe. Peters with good size and strength to Lear. Lear and Pouliot thought about it. Wren. Penalty winding down. Wren's low shot misses the mark. Wells, his pass through a maze and missed everybody. Pesic back on the ice. The penalty is over. Portland still in the zone with some pressure. Lear protects it well. Taylor Lear shows off some of his offensive ability. Pouliot a drive and another block, this one courtesy of Foster, and he felt it.
Well, the Oil Kings do such a good job defending without short that they really force you, no matter who you are. You have to execute with a minimum of 2 tape-to-tape passes, more like 3 if you want to have any chance of opening up a seam and getting the puck to the net.
TJ Foster, a defensive block, and he's been an offensive contributor in this 7-goal attack with a goal and 2 assists, and has 15 points now on the year, this TJ Foster. The top line of St. Croix, Lazar, and Rock. 10 points. DeLeo shot off Trott stick. Jason Trott nearly with his second of the night and period. As Rock slides it in. Burke fans on it. Weatherspoon. Gernat takes a bump and holds it in. St. Croix wants Rock. One hands it down low. Lazar a wraparound. That stopped to the side of the net, and Swenson will skate it away. Seth Swenson, one-on-one with Griffin Reinhart. Reinhart's been terrific.
Wow, he's such a man out there. He just imposes his will, knocking guys off the puck all night long.
Rock sends it in, and now he'll look with his mates to make a change. Under 6 to go in regulation, and a 3-goal Oil King advantage. Ty Ratty on Keegan Lowe. Ratty, Leipzig, Ross, a one-time try, stick lifted. In Edmonton counters, Pelch again, and Morrow might have been the only man in the rink that could have caught him and did.
Well, they've been going head-to-head here this period with their speed, and Morrow does a great job with the stick on puck there to break up that play.
Troy Rutkowski to Ratty again. Lengthy shift for Ratty and a nifty move there. Puts on the brakes, finds the trailing Pouliot, a wrister and a block, and a 2-on-1 Foster and Pelch developing. Pelch at the end of a shift. Holding, stopped by Burke, his best save since entering the game.
Great job by Pouliot again, hustling to make that a 2-on-2. It's a quick developing play as a 2-on-1, but good effort by the defender for Portland. When they're caught up ice, they're really getting themselves back quickly.
Rutkowski rifles the pass to Wells quickly in the feed of Baker, and here's Peddle. Peddle with Wilson and Rachinski. Rachinski backhander, great stop by the youngster Burke.
Well, he's got to feel good about that. That looked to me like a sure goal. That one in, maybe he'd like to have back, but right there he rises to the occasion for his team and keeps him within 3.
Peters in a battle with Rachinski. He's been good. Rachinski and Rutkowski, a good stick to poke it off his tape. Wilson working diligently on this shift. To Rachinski again. Finds Deck. Scores! Ryan Deck, his first of the year. And it's 8-4.
Well, just a good hard-working shift by the Oil Kings. They were getting outplayed in my mind here for the last 5 or 7 minutes, at least, by the Winterhawks, and they were taking it to them here, but just a bump-up shift, good hard-working first to pucks in the offensive zone. And first Deck with that big hit in the first period to make his presence felt, and here with his first of the season. Great job keeping that puck low with traffic net front.
The 18-year-old's first of the season, and his first since February 23rd of last season when he found the net in a game against the Calgary Hitmen.
And to number 20, Brett Rachinski.
Rachinski and Wilson rewarded for their hard work on the shift, and felt a little bad for the young goalie because that puck went off a Portland defender before it entered the net.
Yeah, there was all sorts of traffic net front, and especially coming off that great save he made earlier in the shift, looking pretty sharp. Didn't have much of a chance on that one.
Patan against Mraz. Patan backhand pass finds Taylor Lear with Ratty again. Ratty a double shift. Lear got a stick at it. Kicked out by Brissois. Ratty behind the net. Centering pass as Weatherspoon joined the attack and fanned on it from close range. Benson leaves it for St. Croix. 3 points in the game. St. Croix looking at Rock with Benson.
Benson getting thrown a bone here a little bit out there with St. Croix and Ruck. The youngster being rewarded. He's had a good game tonight with the little opportunities that he's had. Nice to see him getting rewarded.
And his coach loves him. Laxdal glowing about this 16-year-old Cole Benson before the game. And he'd love to register his first point in his 12th game of the season. Ruck into the corner for Lazar. He's had 3 tonight with Peddle now. Shot from the boards. That one wide of the target. Keegan Lowe. Off Benefield into the corner, and Morrow. Terrific stride to win that race.
And he makes it look easy, doesn't he?
I love watching him skate.
Yep.
Lowe again. Sends it in, and he'll head to the bench on a change as time winding down in the one and only meeting of these two teams, and the Oil Kings about to win for the 8th time this season. And you get the feeling they're going to be right in the hunt this season in the Eastern Conference.
Well, I think they've got all the ingredients right from goaltending. That we've talked a lot about their defensive core, lots of scoring up front. They've got a nice balance, a nice team here that should have a successful season.
And remember, they're without one of their key forwards in Travis Awanek, who suffered a shoulder injury and may not return till early March. Legault finds Pelch. Pouliot with a good stick at the line. Foster finds the trailing Gernat again. Foster and Pouliot. Good use of the stick one more time, and Wells with good speed. But runs right into Pelch. A lot to like for Derek Laxdal's team tonight.
Well, he's got to be satisfied. They've played really good on both sides of the puck. I think the biggest thing tonight that probably earns them the right to win is the block shots. They've really sacrificed their body among a lot of other things to win tonight.
And the play of that top line of Lazar, St. Croix, and Ruck, who have combined for 10 points. Ruck, the ringleader, with 4, his biggest outburst of the season. Had 7 points going in. Brzezinski knocked away by Wotherspoon of the line, but Wilson wins another puck battle.
Good second effort by Wilson.
Keegan Lowe blasts one wide of the target. And the Edmonton Oil Kings, impressive. A 3-goal first period outburst in 1:25 that really has sent them towards this victory tonight at Rexall Place. Their record will go to 8-3-2. The Winterhawks will fall to 6-5-1. Is not the start they wanted to this 9-game road trip. And the faithful happy, as is that gentleman. Derek Laxdal in his second full year behind the Oil Kings bench as the Oil Kings congratulate their winning goaltender, Laurent Brossoit, his 8th win too. We'll be back with more. You're watching the Western Hockey League on Shaw. Welcome back to Rexall Place, where the Edmonton Oil Kings have upped their record to 8-3-2 with a pretty impressive win over the reigning Western Conference champions, the Portland Winterhawks. And Kevin, for me, you can really capsulize this game by looking back at that 3-goal outburst in the first period. Those 3 goals, all involving the same line.
I really think that set the tone for the Oil Kings early. They pounced and they executed early, and it really deflated the Portland Winterhawks, as we've talked about, starting a long road trip, and took a lot of air out of their sails.
28-24 the shots on goal. It wasn't necessarily a night where you would fault the Portland goaltenders. However, I wouldn't necessarily say at times that either Matt Carruth or certainly the young man, 16-year-old Brendan Burke, able to make that big save when you really needed them to.
I would think the same thing. I have the same thoughts. I thought that, especially Carruth, he played an okay game. I think that he wished he could have had a couple of those back. But in saying that, I thought that Edmonton did a great job. Every time, especially in the third, that Portland showed a comeback attempt, Edmonton extinguished any possible chance for Portland to gain any momentum.
The big line accounted for 10 points, and the ringleader is with our Jordan Greenlee.
Thanks very much, Peter. Joined by Dylan Ruck, a goal and 3 assists tonight. Dylan, talk about how huge this win is for your team to prove that you can compete with the best in this league.
Yeah, it's a big win for us against a good team in this league. It was a good game for us. We got up early. They kind of came back on us at the end, but it was good to close it out.
Talk about the ability for your line to connect as well as they did. A combined 10 points tonight.
Yeah, we had a good game there. We had a couple shifts there in the first period and got up and got us our confidence going, and we just kind of carried that through the game.
What's the change in this team this year? A big start out of the gate. You guys do really well on that road trip in Saskatchewan, and things are clicking right now.
Yeah, we had some expectations coming in here. We got some good guys in that dressing room, and we're just believing in ourselves, and so far it's paying off.
Talk about the strength on the defensive end to be able to help you guys out when you get those leads from the defense all the way back to LB.
Yeah, we got a pretty solid group from LB out, and our D are a big part of that. Last year we didn't really have that, but this year we got a couple guys that are chipping in offensively, and it's big for our team.
Dylan, big contribution from you last year. A little bit of a struggle early in the season here, but how good does a night like this feel to get back on pace?
Yeah, I struggled early in the season, but we're just kind of getting back on track. The last few games have been good, so hopefully we can just continue that through the season.
Dylan, thanks so much for doing this, and good luck the rest of the season.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's head down the hall to Andy Neal and WHL Central.
All right, thanks so much, Jordan, and congrats to Dylan and the Edmonton Oil Kings, their 8th win this season. As we go to the Cal Tire 3-star selections in tonight's hockey game, Curtis Lazar, big night for him. He was the 3rd star in tonight's effort. Michael St. Croix extending his point streak now to 6 games. He and TJ Foster now with a 6-game point streak. And Dylan Ruck, as you just heard, is tonight's number 1 star in an 8-4 win for the Edmonton Oil Kings over the Portland Winterhawks here at Rexall Place. Back with more on the WHL on Shaw from Edmonton, as the Oil Kings have now won 5 of their last 6. Back at Rexall Place in Edmonton, 8 other games in the WHL, and the Kamloops Blazers are closing in on handing Lethbridge its 10th consecutive loss. 7-4 lead for the Blazers there in the 3rd period. Kamloops looking for their 8th win as well. Prince Albert coming from behind, and they knock off the Swift Current Broncos 5-4 in overtime in Prince Albert. Also tonight on the Eastern Conference side, the Medicine Hat Tigers, they are on their way to a 6th straight win. If they hold that lead over the Brandon Wheat Kings, it's a 4-2 advantage for the Tigers over Brandon. Meantime, the Red Deer Rebels and the Moose Jaw Warriors are squared at 1 as they're playing in the 3rd period in Red Deer. Prince George and Tri-City tonight in the 3rd at CN Center in Prince George. The Americans have a 1-0 lead over the Cougars. Saskatoon, meantime, has a 2-0 lead on the Spokane Chiefs. They're in the 3rd period. The Chiefs carrying a 4-game win streak into that one tonight. Vancouver Giants have opened it up on the Victoria Royals. 5-0 the lead for the Giants over the Royals. The home team has won each of the first 3 games in that season series, and the Giants trying to make it 4 straight. And the Everett Silvertips with a 1-0 lead in the 2nd period. They are on home ice against the Seattle Thunderbirds. 8-4 the final here in Edmonton as the Oil Kings knock off the Portland Winterhawks. Back to wrap on the WHL on Shaw.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Catch the NHL stars of tomorrow today. Don't miss the excitement when the Calgary Hitmen hit the roadies to the City of Bridges for a prairie dust-up with the Saskatoon Blades. Tune in Wednesday, November 2nd, 7 Mountain, 8 Central for great junior hockey action. The Western Hockey League, building the world's finest talent. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
Well, 12 different goal scorers tonight on Pad Your Stats night at Rexall Place. The Oil Kings get their 5th win in the last 6 games, and they end the 2-game winning streak for the Portland Winterhawks with an 8-4 decision tonight. Our next action on the WHL on Shaw comes your way from the Bridge City. The Saskatoon Blades entertaining the Calgary Hitmen on Wednesday, November the 2nd. It starts at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. as those two teams are the last two to be the overall leaders in the WHL. Calgary did it en route a couple of seasons ago to the Memorial Cup tournament, and Saskatoon last year led the league in points as well. So the Oil Kings 8-4 winners tonight. For Peter Labardius, Kevin Sawyer, and Jordan Greenlee, and the rest of the Shaw crew, I'm Andy Neal. Thanks so much for watching tonight from Edmonton on the WHL on Shaw.